Hi,
What?
hello.
We went live. They never heard that. That's
We're
sad.
live. We're live. We're live.
Yeah,
We're live.
That's sad.
We're live.
Okay.
Totally not because I'm stressed out by the backstage chats.
I mean, we're starting with you, so
Dear
there you go.
God, no.
I'm not going to not start with you.
Hi, I'm Meister Hypester. I'm Jack. I'm Meister Hypester on all social media platforms. I know what to do of things. And yeah, Steve, you want to say who you are?
I am your game mommy, aka Steve, aka Dying of Exposure, and I'm across lots of things. My own Twitch channel, Beggar Street, here. I'm in spaces. I'm in spaces online. TikTok. There you go.
There we go. Reia?
Hi, I am Reia Vika. I am in much less spaces, but I'm in spaces. I'm in places. I fit. I sit.
You're just a cat.
Reia is cat.
If your stream is box-shaped, you might have a Reia popping in soon.
Well, I'm a professional lurker in my friend's streams. Don't perceive me.
Don't perceive me.
Don't perceive me.
Yama?
I live on Baldur's Gate now. That's an important thing. I'm nowhere else.
Yes, and routinely traumatize me with screenshots. It's great. Also, how dare you make your people so pretty?
I know.
Yeah.
I have good taste. What can I say?
And Sammy has a special privilege of only ever existing online on my stream, which I'm pretty happy with. Like, I feel very special.
Hi.
You have to do a 1-hour ritual cast to get Sammy here.
I am the opposite of Jess in the fact that any talk of Baldur's Gate makes you want to vomit. And that's where we are.
And he's still
Really?
me sending him screenshots on occasion.
Yeah, no, like, it's over a version. The second someone talks to me about something, like, more than 5 times, I am done. I'm out.
You know when something gets like overhyped and then like something gets overhyped and then like you get annoyed by it. I know, I'm the same. I've been like that about stuff as well.
It's like a song that's played too much. It's like everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's the best song in the world," and because everyone's saying that, I actively want to put the song in the dumpster.
Like that one song that gets played every Christmas.
Right? Oh no, Mariah Carey is iconic.
Oh no, fuck! I hate Christmas.
You're just the opposite of Yama.
Look, Mariah Carey is a horrible person, and it makes me love her more. I don't know what to say. Like, my type of person is a monster who's rich. It's just iconic.
And that is why Sam and I are friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only reason. We're complete opposites, but we're both complete assholes as well, so we get along.
Yeah, it's a good job I'm not rich, because Lord forgive me if I was. I'd be in hell.
I'm already going there. See you there. Yeah. Booked us a hotel. Everything. Got a spa. Sauna.
A sauna in hell.
A sauna in hell.
Ooh.
I love
it.
Nice,
actually.
I feel like the temperature would be perfect there.
Do you know what my job would be in hell? I would be that person.
You'd be the receptionist.
But we would be the receptionist, but it'd be like the really people who struggle really badly with insecurity and then make everyone else deal with it because of their insecurity. They'd come to us and we would just eye them up and down, and that'd be their entryway to hell. That would be their torture.
Ooh, it would be torturers. Woo! I can live my sadistic dream of torturing creeps. Let's go. Nothing.
What?
Now I've got to play a nice fairy boy. Right, I need to get in character.
I don't know how I'm going to get into character, but yeah, sure, let's go. Steve?
You want me to do a synopsis of last session?
Yes, please.
Okay, last time on Healing Riffs.
Nice, I'm on Dragon Ball Z.
After managing to endure the stormy exterior under Crest Arcana, or on their closure into Crest Arcana, and specifically the Conjuration Tower, our group found themselves in an administrative office in a civic public building that is also a wizard tower. After asking initial questions and everything, it was unsurprisingly Hicks that ended up being the person that was taken seriously by the administrative staff, and able to get and set up to gather information related to what the region knows. Hicks successfully representing themselves as a agent of the Kingdom of Drain, which is like 75% true. It's not exactly a lie. It's just not exactly the truth. Somebody that works within Southgate cares about you gathering this information, so there you go. And is willing to pay you for it. But nonetheless, the group then sort of scattered. Of course, Yuri immediately went up the stairs and snuck away to investigate things. They tried to distract you with food and drink for Nhudrel and for Fang. Nhudrel and Fang eventually got up to their own business with their own tour guide escort Alice. Eventually, Fang was distracted by the kitchen level because it was so well stocked and there was lots of food options. And Nhudrel was isolated into a room, which we'll get to shortly, by their tour guide, if you will. And Yuri discovered the sort of artifacts room where they discovered a horn of their father's, meant for the Ardent Hunt, if I recall correctly. Verdant.
Verdant.
I don't know why I said Ardent.
I'm not.
Verdant, yeah, Verdant Hunt.
I accidentally said Ardent. Verdant Hunt.
I remember my law.
But like a horn that they like seems like it might be a little bit out of time, a little bit out of place in the timeline between the Fey realm and the material plane. They sweetly put all of these poor, overworked student interns and administrators overworked as from the opposite of awake, sleep, and got them all resting. Was able to obtain the horn. There was like a cute little music box. There's some other artifacts. They discovered a little bit about infernal artifact that seems to be around the same time, but no like clear conclusion. And then tried to signal Hicks with a crow's call, which is normally a great sort of like super subtle signal, and would have been subtle if Hicks didn't also discover while waiting at the desk of the administrator to receive an official sort of preliminary state report to return to Southgate, a raven's feather on the desk and a shadowy figure moving up the stairs that they just caught. And then they also heard a call of a raven, which wasn't related to what I had planned for them, but worked really well. And then Fang also found themselves up in the lecture hall floor, where some of the intern students were receiving instructionals about some arcane process, and overheard the speech of the people, the community, the tribe that had adopted Fang. And Nhudrel was found themselves in a private sleeping quarters with a 2.5 foot tall halfling woman named Alice, blonde hair, little bangs, and everything like that had just made an offer. And that's where we're going to return to. We're going to start off there. So the door has been closed behind you, but not locked. Alice is looking up at you, kind of as she has been,
there's no way else to look.
Yeah, I know, right? Gently holding on to the kind of top of your calf, back of your knee, where she roughly lines up as a comfortable place, and everything. She mentions that she has some healing potions and salves, which you had looked into when you first arrived there, and everything, but that she might want to de-stress a little bit in a physical manner, a very obvious forward statement of, hey, you wanna hook up? We want to fool around a little bit while we're here? And we didn't give you a chance to respond.
Drop kicking her out the window. Please kick her.
Nhudrel, you have just received this offer from this little halfling woman.
Huh. This is Yuri chanting.
I'm gonna mute myself. Hold on.
Fuck you, Yama. Nhudrel's just going to I'm sorry. Perhaps I did not hear you correctly the first time. What do you mean by that?
Oh, that's no problem. Do you want to fuck?
Got a muted already. Look at the cackle.
It's been a long couple of days here, and I could really use the release.
Just gonna take 2 steps back.
Is it the size thing? Are you worried about the size thing? I have methods. I've been this size for a long time, so I know how to work around it.
If you wish to physically distress, I think maybe I could offer you fuck, I'm slipping into freaking Tommy. I could offer you a solution.
I mean, you have a solution.
A different solution.
Oh, okay. Are you not comfortable? Is that not something you're comfortable with?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. I mean, I'm a little disappointed, but you know, if you haven't changed your mind,
I
you
give great massages, though.
Oh yes.
Happy ending. Woo!
See, that's just going to lead me to want to have more. That's going to encourage my sweetie. And she's talking to you like you were a teenager almost at this point. Sweetie, if you massage someone that has announced that they are extremely interested in getting physical with you, that's only going to make them want to do it more. So no, if we're not going to do the you seem so uncomfortable with regular words. What do I use? If we're not going to make the beast with 2 backs, that's a term, I think. Then I
would like to mention during this conversation, his face is just getting redder and redder, and he's literally purple. He's backed up against the wall, literally, like just
kick him.
But yeah, it's perfectly fine. You can just say no. You're not interested. That's okay.
Just say no.
I would like to help you,
but I want the potions.
And I would really appreciate the potions.
Oh yeah, you can have the potions. Only a monster would gate them behind sleeping with. That would be weird.
Don't trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're actually aphrodisiacs. It's go down terribly in battle.
Dear God, it is definitely.
It's gonna have a hard one for the rest of the campaign.
Let's traumatize the big blue boy.
So they're already blue, so. What?
I wanted to say low hanging fruit, but that. Just...
I mean, it's accurate.
Exactly it. It is a pity that the massages would only make your situation worse, because I have been told they're really good.
I'm sure they're wonderful, sweetie. But yeah, there's a couple There should be a couple regular potions in the drawer there at the end table, and then we can just continue our tour if you're comfortable with it. I'm sorry, I forget that some people are a little bit more stuffy about relations.
I don't.
It's okay if you're not that experienced.
I'm not experienced with your kind of
halflings
anatomy.
Like really short people, like halflings and gnomes and dwarves. Well, dwarves are pretty tall.
I am
in scale to me.
Experienced with people who don't have the same equipment that I have.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, if I'm just not your cup of tea, that's fine too. Nothing would have bothered my ego. But thank you for clarifying. I mean, there's spells for that, but I don't think I want to waste the magic right now. I think we're focused. But nonetheless,
I also do not have relations with people I am not involved with.
Oh, what a goody two shoes.
No, he's just Demi.
Yeah,
but he is a
goody
like
she
that
clicks for her. That clicks for her, and she's like, admittedly, it's a little bit of a shame. You're very cute, and you're very tall. That's very attractive. Those two things combine very well. But yeah, potions are over there. And I mean, there's not much to see in this room if we're not going to do any activity. I'll continue the tour with you. If you're fine with it. Otherwise, you know.
I somehow don't feel like it is right to take your potions.
Well, they're the tower's potion. It's fine. Just take them. They're like asking someone if they want a drink when they come to visit.
Oh. That is really not.
We have them all over.
Really...
Oh no, the head administrator was just being difficult.
There's a small smile. Very much. There is a small smile. Then in that case, thank you very much, Alice. And then takes the.
Yeah, there are two regular healing potions. So 2d4 plus 2, I want to say. Healing potions. Just like literally in the like end table drawer. That you can pick up and add to your character sheet.
Just two potions?
Just two. Because they wouldn't have like a load of them in there. And then she's like, shall we wander the halls more? Do you need to take a break?
No, I appreciate the understanding and the offer.
Oh yeah, no problem, sweetie.
I would offer an arm, but that seems difficult. Opens the door for her. And like just seems to need to take a moment to like go back to the normal blue.
We're gonna cut down to Hicks.
Okay, I'm still
Raven
laughing.
Call. Raven Feather.
Okay.
Raven Call. Raven Feather. From adorable hilarity to tension.
Yes.
Raven Call.
Go be
Raven
terrified.
Feather. Shadowy cloak moving up the stairs.
Ew.
Have they given the journal the report yet, or is he still waiting for it?
It's still being compiled. It will take a noticeable amount of time, and by that I mean probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes for them to like put something together and then redact certain lines of it and stuff like that.
Okay, Hicks would like, as nervously as he can look without his facial expression actually changing, would look at this feather and look after this cloaked person, well, figure shadow, whatever it is, and then I'm assuming like is someone like speaking to him, like was like actually helping him, or is he just waiting?
The administrator has stepped away, or
okay, well then yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you're in their in their little like. It's not really an office because it's not a closed off door section, but it is kind of tucked away in a corner, if you will, or in a side. And so like it's relatively private in here. But like there's no like door or anything like that.
Well, if no one was like speaking to him, then and he wasn't holding anyone's attention, then he's just gonna kind of try and like he's gonna take the feather and hide it away in one of his magical pockets.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It's black, right?
Yeah, it's you don't have to. I know it is a like a terrestrial material raven feather that just appeared, and you haven't seen any birds inside. So,
Been if I can hope
and
not.
then
yeah, so he'd pick it up as discreetly and stealthily as possible, put it in like one of his magical pockets, and then make his way towards the stairs where the shadowy thing went. But he's not gonna like run up to it. He's just gonna like kind of almost track it from like quite a space back, but without letting it get too far out of sight.
I need you to give me a stealth check, and this is for 2 different layers of stealth. This is both for the thing that you're following as well as the other, administrators and student interns.
I feel like this isn't going to go well. Oh, I'm a genius. It did not, in fact, go
well. So before you can even like get to open the door to the stairwell, one of the administrators you haven't spoken to is like, can I help you?
Yes, I have an appointment with the what is it called? The counselor? Was he a counselor? What is it?
Yeah, counselor.
Yeah. Yes, the counselor is he's expecting me, so I'm just on my way up to meet him. I don't need assistance. I've been here before.
Give me a deception check.
Okay, that's fine.
Just a moment.
24.
Just a moment.
No stress. I might be literally shaking in my boots, but I can still lie nicely. Apparently.
Oh no.
I do, in fact, have alcohol now.
Oh no. What happened? So, Reia is now gay mommy.
It's just because Steve
Yeah.
turned his camera off.
Yeah. And muted. So yeah, gay
This is
mommy.
my
What
time
happens
to shine
next?
again.
Who is this spooky shadow thingy that's going up the stairs?
It's
tell.
me.
It's me.
Well, I'm literally gonna kill you. I'm just gonna end your life right then and there.
Can you imagine? Oh.
He's gonna turn around and do the face reveal, but it's just gonna be Yuri going with a really dumb grin.
Surprise!
With
And
the
then
crow's feather ready to tickle you.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be really like twist things up and go like, right, I'm upstairs, I need help, and then he'll just poof away and put himself back where he needs help.
Just imagine a little Mort in like a dark black cloak with it over his face, like that Kermit gif.
Oh yeah.
But it's Yuri, and he's like, "It's me."
It's me.
Even the color is correct.
It was your all along.
Are we all just frogs?
What?
What?
I'm not a frog.
I'm the blue frog.
Yeah.
You can keep your cloaca to yourself.
Yuri's
I don't want to be a
green
frog. Thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I am definitely not a frog, thank you. I am a plant.
Yeah, we've got a plant. We've got a frog. We've got a
Cat?
lion.
Lion?
I'll be the lily pad.
A lion.
The feline.
A lion. Okay. And then we just have Hicks, who's just beautiful
There we
and null.
No, Hicks
Okay,
is
I'm
the
back
kid.
and kicking Fang back out of the
Hicks is a rock.
captain seat.
I'm not a rock.
Damn.
You're the shadow.
Hicks is a rock! Just like a stone. As
I
expressionless
have
as
no
a
idea
stone.
what you all are talking about.
He's either a rock, a shadow, or just like a really beige wall.
I said we were all frogs, and Sammy followed that up with, no, we're not. Keep your cloaca to yourself. So I'm still
Yeah,
recovering
stand
from
by it.
that.
So we've got a frog, we've got a lily pad plant boy, we've got a lion,
Wait,
and then we've got
frogs
Hicks.
sits on lily pads. So does that make, Yuri the bottom in this situation?
Okay, well, I mean, like Yuri's a top, but I think I don't sit on Yuri. That'd probably kill me. Thank
Him.
you.
He's so tiny. He's
Yes.
almost
Yeah,
the size of a halfling.
He's so
Just Yuri just going. "Ah! I don't deserve this."
God.
They don't even squash him.
And that's how Yuri dies.
And that is how Yuri dies. Nhudrel
I didn't even have to get my hands dirty.
Nhudrel doesn't even look where he's sitting and accidentally squashes Yuri. That's like, instead of
And all
breaking his
that full
glasses, he
plate.
breaks his Yuri.
Okay. Last we left off, you were saying you had an appointment, Hicks.
Yeah, and then you rolled a 24.
24 deception. Administrator's just like, yeah, okay, go on up. They should be on floor 10. And just goes back. That's a very high deception check. So they go back in. Because you rolled so poorly on the initial stealth, roll another stealth for keeping, like, either stealth or survival, if you want to do it that way, for keeping your distance but trying to track the cloak figure up the stairs.
21.
Okay. You are catching you're exactly where you want to be. You're sort of in the pocket where you're catching sort of the black flickers of their kind of hooded cloak as it sort of moves up the kind of rolling staircase. And you're keeping your steps light and you're keeping your footprints light. They go up past floor 2, past floor 3, past floor 4. And then you hear a door open and are worried that they've gone into a floor until you hear the conversation of two like staff members here sort of talking casually about the problem. You already have a 21 stealth, so it's easy enough for you to hide from them as they sort of step themselves down the stairs down to like the second floor and go into it. But it's a brief moment of pause. And you're going to have to make up some time when they get back, because inevitably once they get on the lower floor.
Right. I have cats.
Oh, he's talking to the cats. I was like, don't you call me a dumb
I
shit,
assumed
bitch,
it
I'll
was
stab
cat.
you.
I assumed it was
really
cat
did think that Sammy was talking to you about Hicks. I was like, wait, what did he do?
Yeah, okay, and then I guess he would try and catch up somehow.
You can. I'm letting this all sort of ride on the 21, where you're keeping your distance, you're not being noticed, you're keeping it. You are trending that they do seem to be. You recognize the pattern of a person on a mission. They are tackling this in a similar way that you would tackle not wanting to be seen, but moving your way quickly up to the tower. Can I get an insight check from Hicks, please?
I can't. No.
Okay.
Listen, I'm pretty. I'm not smart.
At this time, you were just following them. You follow them up and up and up further, and get kind of to the past the sixth floor. They're on the seventh, kind of going up to the seventh, and you're coming up from the sixth, kind of thing, or from the fifth to the sixth, keeping that like stairwell distance between you. And at the same time, if we pan over on that same floor, they stepped away. We're going to continue with Hicks. Yuri,
Reia, come back.
We're going to go to Yuri. Closer to the 8th floor, Yuri, which is where you were with all the like sort of storeroom / kind of observation room of all of these different magical artifacts. You would obtain the horn, and you had and I can't remember if you scooped the music box or not, but if you did,
I did,
because you know the little hand rune gesture to disapparate the kind of force field kind of casements for these. And it seems to be the same on everyone. You observed one of the people doing that. So, and everybody's asleep and everything. Is there anything else that you would be doing in this room beside notifying, using your sort of skills to notify Higgs? What would Yuri's next maneuver be?
Okay, so I think everyone's asleep, and I have a minute before it just turns into like normal sleep or magical.
Yeah.
Because I use the sleep spell alongside. So while they are like sleep with the spell, I'm going to go to whoever the administrator was in the room, because you said there was one in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to quietly, if they have any, loot their keys.
Yeah. They do. They do have a set of keys on them. Not like a janitor's key ring with like 20, 30 keys, but they do have a few keys that look rather official on them. And the keys are pretty conveniently labeled because they all look very relative. They all look extremely similar. But you see one that's labeled 9, and one that has the text main written on it, and one that's labeled 8, which is clearly for here. And then a fourth key that doesn't seem to have a label on it and seems to be well used.
Okay, well, Yuri is going to quietly look over whoever, like he's kind of sniffling, holding back. You know, he's trying to contain himself for the time being. And now with the items on him, he will just what's the word? Look over the administrator, and then basically with disguise self mimic them exactly.
Okay.
So he now looks like an administrator / the administrator. If they have a name badge or anything, he'll take note of that. If they don't, like if they had any,
they don't really have name badges here. There's a lot of people in here, but there's not a lot of people for like an office administrative type of environment. It's not like there's hundreds and hundreds. There's dozens of people here, so they wouldn't have like name tags.
Yeah. So
like badges,
with that, he will basically he will actually. Well, granted, there's no other artifacts that really go, oh, I'm, interesting. He would just leave. And he would actually lock the door with the keys, locking them in. But this isn't like to keep them trapped. He actually will take off the key from the chain for that room and slide it under the door so they can let themselves out once they've broken up.
Yeah. It's mostly just to keep people out rather than let.
Yeah, it's so people don't just look in and just see a shit ton of people just having a snooze. So, but yeah, he would he would slide the key under so they can let themselves out, so they're not locked in, because that's a fire hazard. And then he would directly go to whatever, I think it was one floor up, the floor with the curses, and he would just seek to go into the curse room.
The floor with the curses is locked. Do you do anything before you unlock it? Because you have a key that's obviously for it. Do you do anything before you unlock it?
I mean, I could do like a little arcana check, I guess, to see if it's a cast door as well, if that's...
Yeah, go for it. I'm fine with that. See if there's any magical energy coming off the door.
Definitely not going to... Oh, that's not one. Who knows?
You do not know if there's any magical energy coming off
tell you what, I will
sense a lot of magic behind the door, so it's hard to filter out like what's coming.
Loud. I've got my dice noise. I will... Yuri will... Even if it doesn't do anything, he will just do a little runic symbol for the things that unlocked the downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And he will just do that little motion. Beep, 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 beep. That's the noise he makes. Mm-hmm. And And then he will just open the door and then shut it and lock it behind him.
You find yourself in a relatively dimly lit space. There are the kind of like arcanic sort of glowing orbs that replace things like torches and candlelight in here. But they are dimly. It does seem at first glance that this place is empty. There's a big difference between this place and the floor below it. And the floor below it, they were items that were encased and meant to be observed and studied and like cataloged and everything. So it was more dense than say like a museum display, but still very much spaced out to display and so that people could like look around the items and everything. In here, it's like a room filled with safety deposit boxes. Every item they have labels, but they're similar to like a Dewey Decimal System where it's just alphanumeric registrations, and they're of different sizes. So it's not the uniform sort of deposit box sort of flap sizes. There's some that are much bigger and some that are much smaller. And this room is a lot more. This area is a lot more like rows, almost a bit more like you would lay out, not just a bank vault, but like a library in a little bit, where there's obviously like rows that go from floor to ceiling of these boxes, and then they're scattered in. But you can, when you have the sense when you enter this place that it is empty, in the same way that almost all people have a sense when there's just nothing inside. They can't hear any noise whatsoever. So it sends, and then I would say not in a way that you have to roll a save about it, but the amount of energy in here that is mixed between magic and like cursed magic, kind of negative energy, kind of intertwined with it, is a little overwhelming. Not to the degree that you have to do anything about it, but like it's a lot. It's a bit oppressive. It almost feels like you're in it almost feels like you stepped into a sudden significant difference in humidity. Like you went from a normal dry air to like an extremely humid thing, where it changes a little bit how you breathe and everything.
Okay, because like Yuri is mostly, what's the word? Because there was clearly a similar time period with the horn and stuff. If there are any labels, Yuri would look firstly for things dated roughly around the same time.
Give me an either for Yuri, either an investigate, an insight, or an arcana check to try and suss out the label situation or see if you can find something that like gives you a directory to understand the labels.
Oh wait, did you say insight? Is that insight? Wait, that's insight.
Insight, investigate, or arcana, whichever one you would prefer.
I'm going to roll. Oh, I got a nat 20.
Heck
Ooh, very good.
I was about to complain about my roll already.
You looked at a ton of these like little handwritten down labels that have been kind of slotted in front of these boxes, and you quickly assess that you're not going to be able to figure the system out without some sort of directory key, and so you look around and eventually do find sort of a ledger book. You find like a section kind of toward the back of this space with several desks, are a few desks sort of like tucked away. And once you check some of the drawers and everything, you find sort of a directory that has like labels to things, and it is organized into a pretty understandable categorizational system of threat level. But they do have dates and times. So without having to wander the stacks, you can kind of begin to suss out like where things are in this space in a few minutes, over a few minutes time. There seems to be 3 threat levels, which is and they start at dangerous, and then there's extremely dangerous, and then there's deadly. And you do find 3 different items that are kind of from that time period. One of which is extremely dangerous, and 2 of which are deadly.
Okay. Yeah. What are they, or can I not tell?
So you see that it's written in like condensed, broad language. You suspect that there might be some sort of like analysis of these things in like thicker, more significant texts. But you're not really seeing that here on this floor. But the the deadly items. One of them is a dagger. That just has the categories drain and undead on them. Another one is listed as a ring, that's also listed as deadly and deadly, and it just says backfire. And then another one that is extremely dangerous is a ring that it just says control on it. And you quickly recognize these are like extreme shorthands, and obviously they're there. They don't have like very flesh things. The control item is listed as a book.
Listed as a
Book. Yeah, so it seems
the
like they
dagger say
generally
again?
describe what the item is. Dagger,
Drain undead.
drain and undead.
They're probably necrotic stuff.
Oh.
But it's still cursed, so.
And it doesn't really show you. It doesn't really break them down into this is the effect of the magical item, because you suppose all of these probably are magical items that do something that also have a negative repercussion for either using them or even touching them, because that's how cursed items work, unless you interface with them the correct way, right? By either, and some cursed items are cursed as a protective nature, almost like a security measure, where you can work around it by just simply addressing or like saying something, a word of power, or like twisting a device on it to prevent the curse from happening. Other items you have to fully like decurse before you can even interface with, and that's not really made apparent in this logbook here. But yeah, 2 deadly items, 1 extremely dangerous item.
Yuri is
control item.
Because he's not here to like loot stuff. He's kind of doing little detective work.
But yeah, these are all definitely from that same rough time period of the horn and the infernal thing that you found downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, is it like, do I get? Okay. Wait. No. First of all, I would like walk near those boxes that have those items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing they're like enclosed, so I can't actually see, or can I see?
You'd have to pull them open to see them. You'd have to open the little doors.
Yeah.
They are fully enclosed.
I would first of all play. I'm also just reading something. Okay. That's fine. Life is fine. Yeah, so I would just close my eyes instead, and basically he's just, instead of like trying to be like looking and opening all the boxes, he's just kind of trying to, because there's like that magical energy around him, and he's just trying to get a feel for the energy in the room and feel if anything is like familiar, as in like unseelie, or like something that feels more like his home plane.
Mm-hmm.
Like the magic from there.
So give me, because you're doing this, I'm gonna give you an option here. If you want to, you can burn a number of bardic inspirations, which I tie into your glamour bardness, which I tie into your fayness and everything, to make this easier. It looks like you have 5 bardics in theory in total, right now. This will be an Arcana check. If you burn 1 bardic, it'll be you roll it with advantage. If you burn 2 bardics, you can burn those 2 bardics, and you get advantage +5 to your roll. And if you burn 3 bardics, you just get the information. This is you basically utilizing some of your abilities as and energies as a kind of magical entity to do this. So 1 bardic advantage, 2 bardics advantage +5, 3 bardics, you just get the answers that you're looking for.
I'm gonna burn 3.
All right,
this
3
is important.
bardics.
So
2 things. The first thing, the deadly ring, nothing to do with the Fey realm or any other realms at all. You can tell that it's obviously like a very well-crafted magical energy. It feels very much from this plane. It feels a little bit like the magic that just like a taste of what the magic that Nhudrel has in him. Just sort of good old-fashioned arcanic, and some of the magic you've registered here as well where you've been walking there. Very much material plane.
This is the non-deadly ring, right?
This is the backfire ring.
Okay.
And the ring is deadly. It's deadly.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there was like deadly, and then like dangerous kind of thing.
Yeah. This is a deadly item.
Okay.
The other deadly item was the dagger, which had drain and undead next to it. That one, with you burning 3 bardics, is absolutely from the Shadowfell. You can feel that that's from the Shadowfell. And then the book, the extremely dangerous, so not deadly, like the level 2 problem curse thing. That one, Feywild, but not unseelie, but in fact seelie. However, the curse that's on it is not seelie. So it's a seelie item first that's been cursed with something non-seelie.
Okay.
And everything. And that was the book that just said control next to it.
Okay, I'm gonna try, at least first for the book, I'm gonna try and just do the weird little symbol for unlock.
You do a little symbol. With you burning the bardics, I'm gonna give this to you. You do the little symbol, takes you a little bit. You realize it's a little bit different, but you kind of you feel, if this were like a physical lock, you feel some of the tumblers, but not all of the tumblers change when you do the initial symbol, which leads you to believe that there's another symbol, like a variation on this symbol that you can do. You try a couple things, it takes you a bit, but you figure it out, and you figure out what the unlock key for floor 9 is. It's just a variation on what floor 8 is. Because you have all this time in here, because you're kind of quietly poking away in here. But nonetheless, you do unlock the book, and just opening the door doesn't like trigger a curse or a trap or a trigger or anything like that. You are able to open it, and in this like little cubby, because it is more of a cubby since it's just holding a book, you see about a book about the size of a large hand, right? So like a very kind of personal, almost like private journal. It's not very thick. It's maybe like 40-50 pages thick. It's very much something that someone would write in themselves and everything. And you can immediately see that it is a glamored Fey item to look pedestrian, but it is very much filled with that Fey magic, with that seelie magic. However, it is deeply ribboned with curse. And you can't really know the nature of the curse without having like a spell about it, like a proper thing. But it is very much cursed. Whatever's on it is essentially almost equivalent into power as the thing itself, right? If we were doing this in spell levels, if the thing is a level 5 spell item, there's a level 5 curse on it, kind of thing.
Right. So I'm a little, because I thought it was like on a little box, but it's like a cubby, is it?
Yeah, it's like a thing that you could in theory slide it out and pull it out. It's very much a safety deposit box. It just has a front door, but you can pull out the whole sheath if you want.
Would it be possible to take it with me without touching the book, is what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you surely have some fabrics on you that you could use to do it. But yeah, you could take the whole thing. Take the whole thing. It's not very big. It's probably about, I don't know, like maybe about a third of a meter, however many centimeters that is. 30 centimeters.
Would I be able to, because I have, like, I don't mind destroying it, for the sake of using it. Would I be able to kind of use my, I've got 2 costumes, just as a bard. Would I be able to, I don't know how many you'd want me to destroy for it, but I would like to basically take apart the costume, basically to use it like a satchel without touching it. But like I would be using like the thick, puffy, sleeves and stuff to actually properly secure the items.
Yeah, sure,
And
absolutely. You can take some time to do that. I will just say,
like, I would want to do that with the dagger as well. So like, that's why I'm happy to burn both if need be.
So you don't need to burn one for the book. You can organize it in such a way. The dagger, you feel like it will. The only thing to do with those clothes after they spend any kind of consistent time with contact with the dagger would be to burn them.
That's fine. I will burn a charge of
but I will not.
Then.
Yeah. So for the book, you just utilize some of your extra materials to create like basically a cloth container that encapsulates them and lets you handle it. And you're pretty confident. And when I say pretty confident, I mean like you're confident that you can, as long as you're not touching this, you won't trigger anything. Everything in here, it likely doesn't have any kind of curse that triggers if something is moved, because it's all definitely been moved to here. So you're fine with that, so you're like, it's got to be a touch or open type of curse, type of thing. And it's the same with the dagger. The dagger is just much more cursed. With the dagger, it feels like you're handling, like you even as you wrap it, it feels like you're handling something that if dropped on the ground would like explode. It's so teeming with threatening magic in both directions. It is necrotic. You immediately identified it. Looks like it when you see it. It's definitely has like a sickly pale green glow, and it also looks like it's covered in 50 like sticky, like when blood has become sticky, like that phase of blood. So it's not quite dried and it's not quite fully wet, and everything. And you can tell that that's all part of its aesthetic, essentially its magical aesthetic. And you don't really, that Drain is in there and that Undead is in there, but you don't know beyond the fact that it's like, okay, so obviously this is necrotic. And obviously on top of it being necrotic, there's another cursed layer to it. Probably for a foolish and brash wielder of the dagger. But nonetheless, you take the time to do that. While you're doing that, while you're taking the kind of considered time to do that, we're gonna jump over to Fang.
Okay.
Fang, you got into the hallway to the lecture area. I think it's on the 6th floor or the 7th floor. I can't remember which, but it's on one of those two. The lecture area where you overheard sort of someone instructing somebody in common and everything, and somebody responding back in your family's native tongue, the sort of percussive, throaty or delivery, asking about how they can properly adjust an aspect of the spell. You're not in sight yet of this, but you can tell that it's in, like, if you walk down the hall, it would open up into like a room probably. They're very close to you. What do you do, having heard your native tongue in this strange land?
Can I tell that it's a person of my tribe, or that it sounds like somebody that's learned the language?
Yeah, most fluent speakers can automatically know if someone's a fluent. If this is someone that has learned the language, they've learned it in a way you've never heard of or seen, because as far as you know, people don't bother to learn the language of your tribe very aggressively. Like, a lot of people can communicate in bits and pieces of it that your tribe interacts with, but like, Your tribe isn't like xenophobic or anything. It's pretty homogenous. There's only been a couple people, and everyone that's spoken it fluently is part of it that you've experienced. So I suppose you wouldn't be able to tell if this is specifically like a born goblin or just someone that lived with them as you lived with them. But they would be from your tribe.
She's gonna do a little tribe call. In a sense where like it's a call response thing that's specific to her tribe.
Yeah.
Marco Polo.
You don't have to do a performance for it, or anything like that. You hear the other voice delivering comment, not really taking note of it, and answering the question, and then you hear the voice that asked the question be like, I'll be back in a moment. And then just walk out. Do you do anything physically? Because you hear them say that. And then you hear them say that. And then they respond to your tribe call as they're walking in your direction.
Is there anywhere to hide?
I mean, you can go back out the door.
Where are
There's
you
not
going
anywhere to hide in this hall. Not for an 8-foot tall giant beastie woman.
Yeah, could she just position herself behind the door frame and just take a peek?
Yeah, you go behind the door frame. Give me a stealth check.
Oh
Fang.
my
Oh my
god.
fucking!
You're great at
Oh my
stealth,
God.
right?
Hey, listen, sometimes she rolls like a 20.
That would
Like
be
a
so funny.
I've
That's
never
an
asked that
8.
time.
It would just be Draxing.
None of our stealth is going well today.
You see them just come into the light as they start addressing you. Again, native tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Cousin, I know you're there behind the door. Don't. There's no reason to be shy. And you see in front of you, Fang, a 5-foot tall, roughly about the average size. There are people kind of covered. This one in like white speckled with black, sort of like fur around like the exterior of their face and most of their bodies. Their large sort of ears that come off their head in almost triangles, or in almost big wide triangles, and their sort of like flat splayed nostrils, as one of the bat goblins of your tribe. You don't recognize them. You don't recognize this person. But one of the bat goblins of your people just like looks out. They're in like the same uniform that you've seen everyone else wearing, the same kind of dark robes and everything. And I'm like, you don't have to hide, cousin.
She like comes out slowly, sees that it's one of her own, but because she doesn't recognize them, she's confused. Pardon my partner. Just
That's
like
the confused face.
crouches out. She's like, cousin, what brings you here? Are you of my home? Or of my same tribe? Are you of another tribe? And she has like all these questions.
Oh,
We're
Wait,
all
what
one tribe.
what language are they speaking?
But you're she seems almost just as surprised to see you, because you're an 8-foot tall not bat goblin, and everything. And she's like, you're wandering really far from home if you're out here.
As are you.
I've been here for a while, decades, I guess, at this point.
Been
I
that
left a long time ago. But
How long ago have you left?
she sits to consider. And then she's like, nearly 80 years, 90 years ago? Coming close to a century. Fang, your people don't she doesn't look like a 90-year-old bat goblin. She looks like she's your age. Smells like she's a bat goblin.
Does she smell like my age? Does she not
You
smell
can't
like an elder?
I'm not. She doesn't smell elderly. I will say that.
Okay.
Since old people have a smell, I will say
yes,
that she doesn't have that scent to her. She smells like she's of an adult age, and she does smell like a bat goblin.
Then Fang's a little taken aback. He's like, "Oh, elder cousin, my apologies for not addressing you properly. But why have you left the tribe to come here so long ago?"
To see something else. I imagine the same reason you might have left the tribe. It's a great place, but sometimes you just want to experience other things. And so I traveled west until I couldn't travel west anymore, and then I found this place, and it was so very different than where we're from. So I must admit, I'm still not used. I will never get used to the light. But other than that, and you can hear in how she puts her sentences together that this is a person that spent a long time speaking the kind of broader common that you've heard, the broader common language that you've heard. She doesn't put her adjectives in the same order. She uses all of the, all of the flex of the language and inflections of the language. When she speaks to you, she doesn't speak with an accent, but her grammar is affected by something that she's been speaking for the last 90 years on and off, being common. And so she's like, did you come to auspicious time to come to the tower are you also here to learn the ways of magic and spell manipulation?
No. Funny story, elder cousin. No, I'm not. I've attempted magic. It turns out I'm not very good at it, but I keep trying.
I wasn't at first
no,
either, but you can learn.
Is it difficult? Like learning common, you're very good at common. It seems to have changed your way of speech. Did that take a long time?
Not too long, 20 years.
To me, that seems very long. But I've made wonderful friends outside of the tribe, and we're on a journey to figure out the disaster storm above. Are you okay here, elder cousin, with this storm brewing?
I mean, I'm as okay as any of the rest of us are. We're safe here inside of the tower, and on Crest Arcana. So I'm okay for now. Deeply curious as to what's causing this. But right now, we're working on warding to possibly extend the protection of the Crest Arcana. That's what we're doing now.
So there's multiple groups working on different parts to do with the storm, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
And you're on the protection side of the project. Are you able to happen to give me any further kind of insight about the storm?
I mean, she thinks for a bit. Yeah. Give me a moment. She steps away back into the hall, and you overhear say in common, "I have a personal situation that needs to be dealt with." And she asks someone, "It's like, can you give me your notes afterward?" And then like returns to your view. How about we go to one of the more sitting rooms or someplace where we can have a little bit of a talk and we can talk about what this is. I need you, while you're kind of near the doorway, to roll perception, Fang.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh. That's a 7. Okay, that 7 looked like a 1.
Oh, it's a 10.
Okay.
That's a 10.
10. You don't know why, you don't know where from, but the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. A little tingle.
I go suddenly get low and start looking around. It's like, elder cousin, something feels amiss.
Immediately, she casts something. I'm gonna rolling off a Fang sheet, but it's just a D20. This is not Fang rolling; it's me. She gives. She casts a spell that you yourself don't really know, Fang, and she quickly says, "No, everything seems fine from mine." You can kind of see her holding up her hand, and like little auras of energy kind of leave her fingertips and spread out over there, and then kind of dissipate in the light. Everything seems fine from my perspective, and everything. Give me a sniff check, Fang.
Sniff checking.
I love Fang sniff checks.
Oh my god, the 7. My rolls are so bad today. That's the 7.
Yeah. Whatever it is, the hairs kind of relax. Whatever it is passed.
Not convinced.
Fang is a little perturbed. And she feels now suspicious. Cousin Elder, are you trying to deceive me?
Oh no, Vivi.
No. Why would I deceive family? That's... I don't have any reason to deceive you.
I've learned a lot about people outside of the tribe. A lot about bonds that they can make with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand that you may treasure the people here in the tower over people you haven't met within the tribe, like myself.
Are you a threat to the people here in the tower?
No.
Yeah.
I
don't know what you're talking about, cousin. And she does genuinely look confused. She's tilting her head to the side, similar to how dogs do when they're kind of looking at you confused. She's like, shall we get something to drink and discuss what I know about the tower? Or about the rift?
Cousin, elder cousin, I also have to ask. Do you know how people are getting the blood of our kinsmen?
I'm so sorry you ran into that. There are people that trade in our blood here. I've had to be very careful about that myself. It's not illegal, but it's not usually smiled upon. But yes, there are people there are markets, there are things Unfortunately, it seems like the outside world has an affinity and a reaction to our blood. Well, my blood, not yours. It is something that I have mulled over for decades, but there doesn't. It's not some like the government of Synod does not like go and commission people to get this. It's something that happens amongst private entities, businesses. I don't know how much experience. You seem to have a fair amount of experience, but yeah, individual hunters go out and get that and then sell it to traders that tend to have less than ethical intents. And then they sell it at a high price for people.
It is horrifying, elder cousin. I do have a request though before we head into a room to chat, as the concepts you will discuss with me are going to be above my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who is very, very intelligent. He's a wonderful teacher to me about common and things outside of the tribe. May we go collect him to also have this conversation. I trust him greatly.
What a cutie.
Of course. No problem at all. As you're discussing this, Nhudrel, you and Alice have made it up well past actually where Fang is. You're currently standing outside of a door on the 8th floor. On the 8th floor. Alice explained to you that there was a lecture going on, so you don't want to interrupt the lecture that's happening there. You'd already seen the kitchens and everything, so you're up on the 8th floor, outside of a door that's currently and Alice is like, you're gonna love this so much if you're a practitioner of magic, which you are. Nhudrel, this has a bunch of like cataloged artifacts, like arcanic artifacts.
Oh no, they're gonna find out they've been robbed.
A bunch of things that we observe and study from other planes, from this plane, things that are still mysterious. It's so fun. Let me just. Oh, it's locked. She goes to jiggle the handle. Oh, weird.
I suppose we can come back another time. What do you mean that I obviously am a practitioner of magic?
I mean, I can sense it on you. Do you not have any magical spells? Do you know? Are you not learned in the way of the arcane?
Always thought I didn't really have the talent for that.
I mean, you're not. It's not to be rude. You have a lot of. We're not judging quality. You're not very powerful in it, but I can feel it on you.
Really?
Yeah.
If he had ears,
you
they
don't
would
listen
perk
to
up. What?
Yeah.
Sorry, there was Yama whispering in my eardrum.
She's flirting with you.
Yeah.
We've established he's really stupid when it comes to this, okay?
She thinks you have the magic touch.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. Like, I feel like a little bit of. I mean, certainly have you not cast spells yet? You've cast spells, right?
No.
I mean, you have, Nhudrel. You casted Tensor's floating disc on the way in here.
Oh shit! Fuck! Wait, no, I have. You're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, because Yuri gave you a spell back.
I did. I leveled up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're level 3, so you have it. And so
I did
she's like, you've cast spells, right?
There was a thing in a book that I followed, and that was a surprise.
Well, I mean, that's how a lot of us work with magic. That's how I work with magic. I wasn't born with it. But like, yeah. I mean, you so you have a bit of magical aura around you. So I was excited. I'm so excited for this. And she's just like,
Do these artifacts also help with the casting of spells?
I mean, some of them should. I know that there's a couple wands and staffs in there.
Well, you're gonna have to bang her for a wand.
One for a wand.
Hey.
She goes. All right. Are you willing to get into a little bit of trouble?
Oh
No.
do it.
You're the good boy.
He looks intrigued. I need to see something.
There's a lot of magic on the other side of that door.
Sinners.
I don't usually do this.
I normally just get Hicks or you to do it for me.
And I already did it.
Maybe. And I'm not really. This isn't. Oh, right.
Your hemming and hawing about it is enough of a yes for her.
Yeah.
She casts the knock on the door and unlock and opens the locked door. Fang,
I'm guessing we would have all heard that because
Hicks,
of how knock works.
and Yuri, you all hear the big. You all hear the big like 2 knock thud of knock, as if everyone has knocked on a door right near you. Other than Fang, all of you know what this spell sounds like. All of you know what this spell sounds like. But the door opens up, Nhudrel, and Alice is looking back at you, smirking and everything, as she kind of no look does this. You see, just in the corner, a big old pile of obviously snoring bodies, sort of cuddled up next to each other, posed to be in like snuggle positions, and everything.
Don't disturb nap time.
Just going to be like points at the pile of people, and then to Alice. Is that normal?
She goes, oh. And she kind of looks and sees it. And looks and sees it. No?
Just random, just gonna be like, what is the regular hours you work here? Suddenly concerned.
I'm gonna roll something for her.
Suddenly concerned about the working situation here at the tower.
I'm gonna roll something for her.
I don't know.
Okay, she's smart enough for this.
Okay.
She goes, no, and then she just closes the door again. I don't know what's going on in there, but I can't tell anyone about it because if I, and then she opens the door again, and then she's like, and immediately just starts going through and looking at all of the items. She just starts methodically, like, scanning over all of the items, looking for anything that is currently missing.
Is there...
Nhudrel, I need you to roll a perception check.
Fuck.
Fang,
Okay.
I'm going to get back to you and Hicks
leash,
and Yuri.
Ah, God damn it. This is great. I'll be fine. Oh, wait, what?
Flasher.
Nat 20. Look at that. 22.
Ooh. Nhudrel,
Yeah.
you feel it as it's approaching. There is a figure that you can't physically see, but you know is there.
Okay.
Moving up the stairwell. And up the stairwell.
Uh-huh.
And you know, like they're cruising. You're kind of in the doorway. Your back, if you will, is toward the stairwell, but not in a way that's like really locked in. But you can sense a figure coming up the stairwell that you can't see when you kind of glance in that direction.
Oh.
What do you do, Nhudrel?
Step in and close the door because apparently we're not supposed to be doing something that we are doing right now. So there's Alice. I think there's someone coming up the stairs.
Well, don't let them know. Shh. And she's just going through and scanning that. Fang, you heard the big loud knock. Hicks, you heard the big loud knock. Yuri, you heard the big loud knock. In that order, what do you do, Fang?
Fang is stunted. She has no idea what that was. She's like,
Baby.
elder cousin,
Papa.
that was strange.
That's
Nhudrel.
a knock
And she
spell.
panics and she does this. And she does this kind of bird call.
Is that the
That
Marco
she's-
Polo for Nhudrel?
Yes, that she's done for Nhudrel specifically. She does a
Nhudrel
bird,
bird call.
it's kind of like a bird call.
Unfortunately, Nhudrel chose to go into a room and close the door. So I'm not going to, since you're on different floors, allow this to just naturally get there, since Fang doesn't have some magical amperage to that to make it carry.
Nhudrel panic, okay?
Your elder cousin comes up and she goes, It's just a knock spell. That was just the noise of a knock spell. That's just to open a locked door, but I don't like that it's being cast. We should go. I need to go look into this. Do you want to join me?
Yes, I shall escort you, elder cousin, for your safety.
She follows up with you going up toward the noise, up toward the 8th floor. Yuri, you are you've got the items and everything like that. You've had some time in here before the knock noise happens. Does Yuri in the cursed storeroom, does Yuri stick around in there, or do you move yourself up to the 10th floor? Or do you go somewhere else? What's Yuri's play after wrapping up these cursed items and everything like that?
As soon as Yuri hears the knock, Yuri is, he knows pranks and he knows. There sometimes the things.
There's no way you don't know what knock sounds like.
Yeah, no. I more mean like he's probably very aware that that is going to be one of, like he's aware that that is probably the door that he locked being unlocked because like that's what makes sense. But I imagine first and foremost he is going to actually change his disguise, still wear it, and it's going to actually be like the kind of the young student version of the clothing worn, and is just like blonde, blue-eyed girl. But he's like that whole like she's a bit of a rebel. She's got the hoop earrings, she's tailored up her trousers a bit, high waist.
Yep.
So just into like kind of like more one of the schoolgirls. Because he's aware that the enchantment of who he used could potentially be seen sleeping. He is then. How quickly can I replicate that rune now that I did to unlock the doors?
It's like it's a gesture for you at this point.
Okay, can I figure out? Would I be able to figure out that I could shut them and lock them again with the same kind of rune? Because you kind of,
it's gonna be an Arcana check, but yeah.
Okay.
Not a very high DC for this, because you've already used it and manipulated a little bit. I just need you not to roll a 1 or a 2, basically.
Well, a 4, so you didn't know what.
I didn't say 1 or that wasn't a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you're able to like fidget with it and relock things.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I would lock them both up. I will actually use my minor illusion to put the dagger back. As in, like, not actually
an illusion
back,
of a dagger in there.
Yeah, because I can leave at least one minor illusion. Okay. Are there any other doors in this room or anywhere else that it will go?
There's not really any other doors officially. There's passageways you could hide pretty easily in here, because everything's kind of floor to ceiling for the shelf, the units of like safety boxes. And there are like little coves where there are desks and everything, but there's only really one way in or out of this room, similar to the artifact room. They're meant to be big area spaces, not really throughways. They're basically vaults, essentially, so there's really only one way in or out.
Okay, thanks, kitten. Thanks.
You could go out a window.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Is there a balcony or is it just a drop?
There's like a shelf. It's not really a balcony, but like you could, in theory, put like, potted plants and stuff like that into it. There's like a little bit of a ledge to it, but then it's just the stone exterior. It doesn't have like exterior balconies or anything like that.
Would I assume there would be those on other floors as well?
From approaching the tower that all of the windows are pretty uniform, and so yeah, you could. There's like enough of a ledge space to put out like plant life and stuff like that on it. So yeah, that they all have kind of a like a lip shelf on the exterior of almost every window that you saw from the outside.
And that's on the outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this very quickly.
Okay.
But I want to, after I've done like, basically made the room look like no one was ever in there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to use one of my Misty Steps in very quick succession to basically first Misty Step, which would to pop onto the window, and then for the second one to go to a different floor.
Okay, up or down?
Up.
There's only one floor up, but up or down?
As I've been in the one down, would I know if the window is in direct view? Like, would I know for a fact because I am aware that someone knocked?
Yeah, you'd probably suspect that there could be a good chance someone would see you on the 8th floor if you just popped on the outside of the window.
Oh, I'm gonna do something really stupid.
Something Yuri.
Granted, I can Misty Step, and well, I need permission to like not know that this won't instantly. Yuri, yeah, bad idea, but I'm gonna do it. Yuri is going to swan dive off the tower and Misty Step onto one of the ledges of like the lowest floors.
All right,
like, diving.
You do not have to do anything for that. You're a Fae. You've done your little Fae Misty Steppy type stuff. Your little like quick, like brief dimensional movement for anything. How far down? What floor does Yuri want to land on? You already climbing a lot of trees. I'm sure Yuri's entire existence has been figuring out how to scale and descend things. So I'm not going to make you roll anything for this. Where do you want to go? I love the idea of you swan diving out and then at the appropriate time being like, and zoop, and I'm safe.
As I'm swan diving, I might find some of the ledge just to poof on through the window because I can still see through the window.
Yeah, you can just poof into.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that because that saves me doing another poof after. What floor was Hicks on?
So Hicks
Going
was
up
probably
to the seventh,
around
but he's
5,
on 6,
around 6. So Hicks was relatively close.
Floor?
I believe the 6th floor was the kitchens.
But like the figure was going up to the like, next floor, kitchens? So Hicks would be following.
Yeah, so Hicks would be around
going down,
the kitchens.
Would I be able to see Fang as I pass any of them? Fang's not in the stairwell.
No,
Fang was in the passageway.
In this, okay, so at this moment, Fang was inside.
Heading out.
From where you've positioned yourself and in the situation, I'm going to have you roll a luck check to see if you see any of the other party members beside Nhudrel, who specifically is hiding. Okay. So we'll see if you see either Fang or Hicks on your way.
That was on that one. I'm guessing I do not.
No. Now, from the construction, the way I was perceiving the space was the stairwell is kind of opposite to the side that you're dropping on. So it wouldn't have made too much sense for it. But I'm like, the luck check it. We're theater of the mind right now. Sure, but yeah.
Tell you what, I will choose then. So remind me, number 6 is the kitchen.
Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Number 5 the school room?
No, number 7, I want to say, is the school room.
Okay, yeah.
You all are pretty stacked on top of each other, but yeah.
I will go to the kitchen and then still on my little bitchy teenager maid schoolgirl look. I will spruce up my hair a bit, make sure that all the items on me are hidden, and then I'm going to actively carefully but actively start looking for people, listening out for people.
Okay. Give me. You successfully do all of this. You can descend. We're already disguised. You can misty step. All of this is doing. But give me a performance check, please. Yuri.
Oh, my rolls are dog shit. 17.
17. Okay. Um. So you see on the kitchens, everyone else, of course, heard the knock as well. Some people seem very interested in it. Other people seem more interested in getting themselves food. A similar trend to everybody being pretty exhausted here is happening for you, where you're like, okay, everyone's been working, burning the candle at both ends to deal with this problem. That all makes sense. But it makes people less like aware of their surroundings. And you imagine at a wizard school, certainly people use occasionally Misty Step to quickly maneuver about a space. So nobody pays you that much mind.
If I could Misty
when you
Step, it
come
would
into a
certainly
common.
be to the kitchen.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
like
All I'm saying.
you're a teenage girl, you're another student. That's normal. And so like nobody takes much shock. So it's pretty easy for you to kind of merge into the people looking into stuff, right? They just don't know that there's also a bunch of specific people in here that you're looking for. While you're doing that, Hicks, you hear the knock spell on that. You've been kind of sneaking up and along, Hicks. You hear the knock spell. Do you heighten? Do you move your speed faster? Because you're probably right now, as the knock spell goes off, you're probably moving up to floor 7, as you know that they were moving to floor 8, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of keeping that like just enough distance so that you're you're not easily spotted from them. Do you quicken your pace upward, or do you kind of stay?
Hicks is not going to really. He's going to hear the knock and just not be interested in it because he's more interested in following this person. So if the person goes towards knock, he's going to go towards knock. But otherwise,
I
he's
mean,
going to
they're going
ignore
up the
everything
stairs,
else.
and you know it's
Yeah,
above.
he's just going to keep. He's literally just going to concentrate on following the person.
I need Hicks and Fang to both roll me perception checks.
Boop 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 boop. Oh, nat 1, baby!
Perfect.
We're doing well for rolls today.
We really are.
Yeah. I love this folly of this comedy of errors.
I mean, I got good perception earlier, but now I'm panicking. So now it's just going
you're
to shit.
sneaking up, Hicks, and you're following, and they're moving up, and you're moving up, and everything. You're moving up, but unfortunately, at the time and with the stealth and with the lineup and everything, you and Fang just miss each other timing wise. For Fang not to see you, well, Fang follows alongside their cousin to move also up the stairwell. But Fang is going to floor 8. By the time Fang's there, Hicks, you're already moving away from that location because the figure keeps moving away from that location. They're on floor. They're on floor 9, moving to floor 10. You're on floor 8. You're already up the stairwell, moving to floor 9. So to recap, Yuri is on floor 6, probably moving up to floor 7. That you know roughly where the knock came from, and you know that people are a lot of people are moving in that direction. And I would say that Yuri would suspect at least some of the group would probably be curious about it too, and everything. But that's Yuri's choice. But that's where Yuri is. Nhudrel is inside of floor 8 right now. Inside of the room with all the sleeping students and administrators, alongside Alice, who is about to find out that there are some missing items in there. Fang and Fang's cousin, who I've yet to say their name because it hasn't been asked, are moving to moving in the direction of floor 8. And Hicks, you are pretty much at floor 9 at this point, essentially, for it. So as this is happening, Nhudrel, you see Alice shift in mood and go from the tension of looking to no. Oh God. There's supposed to be a thing here. There's supposed to be a thing here. There's supposed to be says it's a horn. There's supposed to be like a horn here. And there's not.
Look around to see if I can see a horn. Just like...
Yeah. You see that. She goes, this is not good. This is not good.
What's
you don't see a horn anywhere. I'm not gonna make you roll.
What's the what do you do when things go missing? Is there a bell to ring?
Oh my God, Nhudrel's gonna kill us all.
This is Nhudrel. This is the worst.
I'm going back out the window. If an alarm rings, I'm back out the window.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm just a. I should probably go back down.
Just gonna like put his hands on her shoulders and like, just slow breaths. We can deal with this. What's happening?
I should report it to my boss.
Okay.
That's what I should do. I should head back down to the administrators down on the first floor and let them know something. I'm sure they're already kind of aware, but they don't know this. And while you're there, Fang, you and your fat goblin cousin arrive at the open or at the closed door, and she doesn't waste any time. She just opens it quickly and everything. Opens the door, the closed door, and you see Nhudrel
on the floor,
crouching, hands on this halfling woman's shoulders, speaking softly to her. And a pile of sleeping people right next to them, all in cuddle positions, all in like sleep snuggle positions. In a room filled with magical items that even someone at your lack of magical levels, like, those are all definitely powerful magic items.
Just gonna turn and be like, oh, Fang. Hello.
Fang is panic is like, oh, elder cousin, and she just like slaps her hands over her over cousin's eyes. It's like, my sincerest apologies for this unsightly thing.
No, Fang, I had the I didn't. Fang,
had the opportunity to bang a halfling, but I didn't.
Fang, I promise.
He's a very shy. He's very shy person, and
Fang,
I'm so sorry, elder cousin.
Just gonna shake Fang at this point. I did not.
I can't wait for you to find this out.
I did not what?
Alice,
she's like holding
tell her.
Like, elder cousin.
Well, you two are still like misunderstanding what the situation is there. Fang's elder cousin, who this is the first time Nhudrel has seen in person. One of the I think Nhudrel, you know who they like, what they were the moment you saw them, but you haven't seen one physically. Kind of thing, because surely Fang would have described the people. And what
I would love to give this a lot more attention, but Fang's giving me heart palpitations.
But nonetheless, she just goes, Alice, downstairs. Downstairs, begin rallying people, and she turns, and she doesn't even need Alice to communicate it. She's like, you only took the horn from this level, right, Erie? Or did you take anything else?
I took the music box. Or did I leave the music box playing?
I think you left the music
playing. Oh yeah, no, because it wasn't important, was it? It was just like, it was very minor. It was just like a little.
Yeah,
thing.
it was a
left it playing.
So yeah, so she hears, she can hear under the din of noise and everything, the quiet like music box kind of playing. Someone's cast a sleep spell in here. That explains this. And she just starts, your cousin Fang, your tribe member, just starts immediately directing a bunch of people. You need to go here, and just takes control of the situation. Quickly, we need to loop in all of the leads and supervisors on this. and I think we need to lock down the tower. So we're gonna lock down the tower.
Nhudrel's just nodding like, yeah, this is a very smart thing to do.
and Alice seems relieved. She squeezes Nhudrel's like wrist or forearm that she can reach for a little bit, and just follows orders and immediately starts moving downstairs, leaving you, Nhudrel, with Fang and this thing. Immediately, people just start responding. They just respond to this person. There's no questions. There's no arguments. There's no discussion. They just start enacting the instructions. Enacting the instructions.
Just Nhudrel to Fang. Your friend is very impressive.
Oh god, you're such a whore, Nhudrel.
Yeah, sheesh.
Fucking hell.
First it's a
2.5 feet
halfling, now it's a fucking goblin.
5 foot tall and
Jeez.
covered in fur. Perfect. Perfect. Anthropomorphic Batwoman goblin. Amazing. That's the problem.
I question Nhudrel's type, but whatever.
I question Nhudrel at this point, yeah.
Nhudrel's type is efficient, apparently.
Nhudrel's type is the type that's going to get us killed.
But yeah, so she is currently distracted with that. Hicks.
Yes.
You know that you're approaching the top of the tower. You know that this person is moving to the 10th floor, and you know that they're not going to keep moving up anymore. You're too far back from them to know exactly where their steps are doing. Would Hicks risk closing on them?
I don't
Or
know.
would yeah, because there is no insight check necessary. There is nothing but important people up here, and a person that's deliberately trying to be very obscured and inconspicuous that has quietly been moving, and the knock noise didn't even slow their roll. They're on a mission. That is what you know, Hicks.
Did he pick up like anything else about this person as he tailed them up the floors or not?
I'll let you give me another insight check, but it's got to be insight because there's not really much to go off of when you're keeping your distance.
Yep. Right, I got 19.
Hey! I would
It was
say
nearly a fucking 8.
After several floors of tracking this person, I think that this would not be dissimilar to how Hicks would infiltrate a place like this.
Oh.
Like when you've had to move into a very populated place. This person is on a mission to take something or end something. Because that's the only reason to move like this.
Oh.
So they're here to steal something. And Hicks, I would say that you would assume, based off of passing huge magical energy on floor 8 and 9, if you're going to steal something, probably the big magical artifact floors. Probably not up here. So I would say that you'd say, better chance kill something, maybe just take something, maybe deliver a message, but a very bad message. But like, this is not a courier. A courier would have been out in the open. This is not something. This is someone that's not supposed to be here, and they are doing something extremely nefarious by being here.
Did he get any like vibe from them on what type of quote unquote humanoid they are? Like, is it just like is they normal like a human, or are they
they're
like
mid-range humanoid, medium-sized humanoids? So
no, but I mean like aura wise.
Aura-wise, you don't know if they're like an elf or a half-elf. They're probably not a regular human. You do, I will say, you get no, even though you had the crow feather or the raven feather,
yeah,
and the raven noise,
he's
and
putting
you saw them.
together.
You don't actually get any sense of other planarness. This person's skilled, they're talented. You even feel like they've been extremely well trained, but they don't feel like they're not. You're not getting any Shadowfell or favor. They feel like they are they're from their local, their material planar.
Okay, if he feels like if he thinks that they're a more material plane person, then he will try and close the gap a little bit.
I need you to give me another stealth check, and then I'm going to need a follow-up to that in a moment.
Yes. I do like rolling 3s tonight, though.
You do. All right. In this last brief moment before they know that you're following them, give me a let's go with a I want a history check with advantage. I know you have a -1.
I'm dumb.
Oh no.
16.
You are beginning to close on them, and the whole reason that you get the opportunity to make this history check is you kind of creep. You're trying to remain stealthy and everything like that. You see that this floor is a little bit different in the way that the top floor kind of opens to a hallway of different offices on either side. And it seems to even branch a little bit. Like maybe it's like a T shape up here of hallways. And everything with maybe a room in each corner or a couple rooms in each corner. Kind of wedging the pie, if you will, the circle of the top here and everything. And so at a distance of about 25, 30 feet, as you finally like lean to get a good idea of where they might have gone, they step out into the center of the intersection of these 4 halls, looking directly at you, and you can now see their face. What you see is a face, or rather half of a face. One half is not obscured by shadow, it is just absent. It is just blackness. At a glance, it would be obscured by shadow. The other half is half orc. Half orc in its nature.
No, get out my
and
coffee
it just
mug.
stares at you. It just stares at you with like a cold, icy, pale, gray, dead, single eye. And they look at you, no response, no panic, no change whatsoever. They look at you for a moment, and they begin reaching to their hip to grab what is clearly a hand crossbow that's at their hip. Your history lets you know that this is a, for lack of a better term, conscribed material agent. Being a person that entered into an agreement and is being manipulated with various functions. This body is physically here. The other half, the dark half, is somewhere else. The dark half of their face is somebody else controlling them through this body, seeing what they see and everything. And this is something that you have seen implemented and intoned by several powerful organizations in your time, but most specifically, either the Nine Hells or Shadowfell.
Oh, that's nice.
And so you, with this history check, know that, but they are reaching. What is Hicks doing? You see that they're reaching to pull a crossbow on you and fire at you.
He'd immediately try to find the closest cover, so that if they do try to shoot at him, he at least has a better chance of avoiding it.
Who has one on their character sheet? I bet you Yuri does. That's Nhudrel. Attack. I just need to see. Oh, that's a longbow. That's fine. All right. Let's just roll off of Fang's character so it's nice and out in the open. So D20. This is a +4, 5, +5 to their attack. That's an 11. I assume that misses your AC straight up. Yeah. The bolt pings into the hall behind you as you sort of just dodge behind or dodge back behind where the sort of stairwell opens up to this cross section of hallway. And you can now hear them turn on a foot and start moving away. Do you pursue them?
Yeah, when they miss, he would step out again. Not Mr. Stealthy anymore, because they both know that each other are there.
Yeah.
He'll still keep like a good enough distance that if he does the weird shooty thing again, Hicks could find cover again, either behind like I don't know, whatever the fuck is there, like a pillar or a corner, whatever. But he would he would actually speak this time. And he would just ask, also like completely like Hicksified, with lack of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not of this plane. Who are you packed with? Why are you here?
Let me roll for it. See if they respond. That's an @1. They do the stupid thing. They stop. You've got them kind of in there. They stop. They lower their crossbow. Do not interfere with this. This is business.
For who?
If you have not been read in, then it is not my job to educate you.
Oh no.
You're either from two places. And if I am not read in, I'm assuming you're from where I am from. Am I correct?
Yes.
But you're here for someone else, more powerful?
I am here for my target, and I will get my target.
Your target is on this floor, which probably means the council was on the 10th floor, hey?
Both the council and the headmistress of the college are both on this floor.
If you're on this floor, then I can assume who your targets are.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me more information, I'll maybe help you. If you don't, I'll kill you.
For a moment, the eye sort of glosses over Hicks, as it's clear that they're not there. And then for a following moment, you see the eye returns to like a kind of a bright green, almost like a nice like a real emerald green, which is not uncommon for half orcs to have kind of very very jewel tone green eyes. And you see that there's a little bit of like brief, not panic, fear is not the right word, like confusion, kind of like mild tension, but not like panic. And if this is what you suspected, this is someone who agreed to this and would like, and if they're from the Shadowfell, they knew the terms. There's no tricking in the shit. There's no fucking subsection C, chapter 37 by clause. You don't work. Shadowfell doesn't do the whole 9 hells thing. Everything's on the table. But I don't think that they expected this. It's not uncommon for these sorts of agents of the material plane to be like, oh shit, this is real as fuck. But the eye glosses back over to that kind of like pale gray. We have to kill the councilwoman. We have to assassinate them quickly. In order to further progress the maiden's intentions in this time.
The maiden's intentions. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cut out. Sorry.
Yeah. Apologies. Her title is like the Maiden of Crows, Queen or Maiden of Ravens, Queen of Ravens, Raven Queen. The Queen's
Raven
intentions. I said Maiden, and I was like, that's not right.
It's not of a high enough status.
Yeah, the Queen's intentions, and you know the Queen is the Raven Queen.
So you are an orc of sorts who made a pact with our queen.
Yes, the
I
vessel
don't know
is
you.
an orc.
You are not of any importance. Why would she give you such a mission?
To clarify, you're not really speaking to the orc. You're speaking to the dark half that's controlling the orc. Some agent, probably in Shadowfell, is controlling.
Yeah, no,
all
but
of
he's
this.
more asking like, why did this orc make a pact, kind of thing? Like, because he's of no importance. So why is he making a pact with like someone? So
oftentimes, people
powerful.
who seek greatness that cannot reach it in their own efforts will take shortcuts. It's an opportunity to use a tool. Afterwards, this orc will. Afterwards, I will escape with this orc, and if he is smart, he will avoid repercussions.
Do you know who I am?
Yes, and I can totally pronounce your full name. And the GM does not have a problem pronouncing that full name at all, and I pronounce it correctly. He knows who you are. I can't remember how Hicks's actual name is pronounced.
It was quite funky wonky.
There's an apostrophe. Is it ILA apostrophe? Or is that two I's or two L's?
No, it's I-L.
So that's I. So is it Ilhixkai?
Ilhixkai.
Ilhixkai. Yeah, Ilhixkai.
Don't worry, I had to like practice saying his name too. Fear not.
But yes, Hicks, but the real version, the full version of your name.
The real version. Do I get like the full name? Do I get like my full name, or do I just get my first name?
Just your first name, just your full first name.
So you cannot tell me why you need to kill this councilwoman?
I cannot tell you what I don't know. I've been given this order, and I will do it.
I might help you, but first, I want you to wait here. I want to speak to this councilwoman.
They think about it for a little bit. They did roll on that one on their I'm a smart person check. Okay. They're in this room here. And they gesture to a room that they're like fucking 15 feet away from. They're in this room here.
I'm just checking if Hicks says anything. I want him to like leave a little thing on the floor for like the others if they come up, but
I mean, you can still do that, but this person is just watching you.
I know, that's what I'm like.
The shadow agent.
It's okay. He smells like water. I can sniff for the water.
Sniff out the water.
This check for Hicks.
Yeah, I can't really.
But nonetheless,
Okay, so he's not gonna leave anything. But he is gonna kind of like motion that this person needs to either stay like within his sight or come in with him.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
The half orc will. Half orc kind of adjusts his hood so that the shadow half of the face that isn't there looks like it's being shadowed by the hood instead of just an absent space where a face should be there, an absent dark void. Hicks, you know that a big part of the reason that, like, essentially the use of shadow agents is beneficial in the way that it keeps any kind of distance. It's fairly easy. You don't have to actually interplanar travel, just sort of remotely controlling someone. It's detrimental in the way that the person being controlled has the abilities, for the most part, of that person. They don't inherit the controller's abilities. So, like, you are eminently more featured as an agent if you're physically in the material plane from Shadowfell than if you're not. And so it's not that there aren't powerful people in the material planes, but rarely would they be the ones that would be there. So oftentimes shadow agents get used for, like, criminal activities, because it's criminals that tend to be the ones who develop a lot of useful skills, but maybe in more desperate situations than say just a wizard or a powerful sorcerer that's just very talented and can easily get themselves in a comfortable space and utilize their powers. But nonetheless, as Hicks is doing that, Yuri, there's a lot of people moving around these stairwells. You're hearing a lot of noise. Is Yuri moving up or is Yuri moving down?
Oh. What in time is, because would this have been happening at the time that Hicks is talking to them still?
Yeah, this is all while Hicks is still talking. It's all kind of happening blurrily simultaneously. If you want to nudge it in a direction, I'm not against that. If there was something that you're like, oh, it'd be really clever if this happened right at this moment for this other person, I'm fine. Right? You're all kind of stranded about. But yeah, this is roughly around the same time. This is as Fang's tribe member is giving orders, as Alice is now leaving down the stairs, as Nhudrel is there with Fang in the artifact room, and as Hicks is beginning their conversation with this person. That's roughly the time frame. Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, with Yuri seeing people moving up and down with a little bit more, up and down the stairwell with a little bit more purpose, what would Yuri's instinct be? No one's noticed. You just look like another student. So you're anonymous in this. Mm-hmm.
Did Nhudrel give Yuri's flower to the halfling? I don't remember.
I'm not even 100% sure what you're talking about.
Because Yuri left behind, like, a little flower on one of the stairs that had the number of petals of what floor Yuri was on at that time.
Oh yeah, the six leaf clover.
Did Nhudrel give that flower to the halfling, and does she still have it?
I'll let that be your decision, because you would have showed it to her. I think you showed it to her, but you're welcome to either have it or not have it based off of how Nhudrel would have treated it.
I don't remember exactly what he did, but I don't think he would give it to her.
Yeah.
But
like, let her look at it, but otherwise reclaim it. Yeah. So yeah, you've got So Nhudrel has that.
Okay. I was just wondering.
But yeah. So Yuri, would you go up or would you go down? Your confident up is more exciting. But
I don't think Yuri's thinking about exciting at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
you do know that you have contraband on you.
Yeah, that's the thing. And there's probably magical people up there that can sense.
I'd say you'd be fairly confident that, yeah.
Oh god, I might go sit in the dustbin at this point. What? Breath.
Same. Hicks is just very good at being calm.
I'm not.
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
I like how the two easily panicked people are in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, there's
every reason
be
for
useless
Yuri
and just sit it out,
but there's every reason. Trust me, whatever decision you make, I'm gonna fold it in the way that I'm supposed to fold things as a DM. So if you want to play the character and be like, Yuri would understand that there is a potential of being found out and want to escape said potential, right? Like that would make sense. Yuri would know that there are people here that can probably scry on the things and everything. Like they can probably track the magic items. And so if you want Yuri to do the Heidi thing, that's 100% fine. I won't even ruin the past of it, but I will not like leave you out of like the thing, the like important things. And so always feel free to be like, no, my character goes to hide. Even if it doesn't like seem like it's going to be involved very much.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to. I'm just letting you know. I'm never
no.
gonna
The
let
thing
you
is,
be
you're
like,
probably
okay,
right.
you're done,
I'm
Sam.
just trying. Cause, yeah, no.
You can sign off.
Yeah, I don't think logically. I don't think he would go up. It's just there's too much risk with what
He's
he's
got to
got.
know that knock came from. He
But yeah,
has
that's
to
the
have
thing. That's why he
hardest
wouldn't go
position-
back to the scene of the crime.
suspicions. Yeah.
Like going back to the scene of the crime is just not a smart idea.
Mhm.
I think. And the wards haven't been activated yet, have they?
Yeah,
They
no,
haven't
the place
started
isn't locked
activating
down or
soon.
anything yet at this point.
Okay. I'm sorry, kids. Yuri. I'm gonna. Just climb back out the window he came through.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I imagine he kind of like stepped near and then could start hearing people being like, "Yeah, they closed down." And he's like, "Oh no." And he's just going to go back out the window he came. And he's not actually. What's the word? Is there a place on the ledge where he can position himself without being completely visible in the window?
Yeah, we'll say that there is. Sure, I'm good with that.
And I imagine he's basically like. He's actually going to basically because of course he's sat out in the actual storm, and he's just gonna like because his eyes are still like starting to be completely iced over, at least starting to be. I imagine he'll actually just kind of sit on the ledge on the outside somewhere where people can't see, and he's basically just gonna start playing his harp, but it's to calm himself. He's basically trying. He's overwhelmed and is just going to curl up in the actual storm and the rain and play his harp
lot.
on the outside.
I think this place went from all right, powerful magical tower, right? But material plane. Let's be honest, my expectations have been underwhelmed to this to oh, this actually has a lot of interesting and things that probably shouldn't have in it. That's mysterious to them talking about locking it down and there being a panic. And then you're looking at the storm outside that's like battering against the sort of energy field that's protecting the entire Crest Arcana and the Rift. And you've got something that should have never been taken from your family. Like that you're not even sure how it got here or like why it's here. It's a lot for a young man on like week at the beginning of week 2 of their material plane vacation, if you
Yeah,
their material plane road trip, where it's just like, oh, I didn't learn the language, fuck.
I think he'll basically just like start to do that, but he's like genuinely like sat out where he feels far enough onto the ledge like that if the wards activate he'll be trapped on the outside then inside because he does not seem to cope with the idea of being trapped in anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'm going to be right back. Fang, Nhudrel. Fang's cousin is doing that. Vamp roleplay together.
If you're taking a moment, do you want us to do a quick be right back? Because we aren't hitting that mark.
I should be about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll leave it up to you since you're running the stream.
Let's take a quick
on.
break
Hold on.
so I can go to the bathroom. We are nearing that time, and I need the bathroom. So,
Pee
let's take-
time.
yeah. Go walk, go drink water. Thank you for being here. We will be right back in 5 to 10 minutes. Bye.
It's about to break.
We're back. Nobody's on. Nobody's being.
I heard that, Reia.
What?
I heard
What did
it.
Reia say?
I heard that reverence. I
What
heard
did
it.
Reia say?
You just said it, and everyone left it there. I caught it. I knew.
Wait.
I swear.
What did you say?
It doesn't matter. We're moving on. We're back.
No, I need to know.
We're back.
I will turn this string around. Reia.
Certain things
Reia.
things are little gifts
Reia.
left for those that are paying attention.
Reia. Reia, share
Listen,
with us.
everything Reia says to you is important, and you need to listen to it at all times. Anyway, so I'm just gonna start GMing. Are we back yet?
Yes, we're back. We're being back.
Oh, there it is. It finally popped in on mine. So Yuri standing out on the ledge, trying to keep himself as calm as possible. While the conversation is going on the 10th floor, Fang's cousin, if you will, has quickly organized a response and stated, we may need to bring this into lockdown. We should probably bring the tower into lockdown. And everything. And then looks to Fang and Nhudrel, still there. This is the friend you wanted me to meet, right? Cousin? This is the friend you wanted me to meet?
Yes, elder cousin. This is my cousin. And then she speaks common to Nhudrel. Nhudrel, this is elder cousin. Very smart, been here 80 years. Long time. Very smart. Knows what's happening with Storm.
Oh.
Willing to talk to us about Storm.
Please, that would be of great help. My name is Nhudrel. I wish we met under better circumstances. I'm not too sure what is going on right now, but you seem like you have a handle on things.
I do. Here, let me make this easier. She reaches over, and just kind of like touches the side of your arm. Nhudrel kind of reaches up and touches, because she's still only 5 foot. Reaches up and touches the side of your arm, and she catches. She casts tongues on you. All right, cousin. We can speak in our language. Nhudrel can understand you in our language.
Elder cousin, this is amazing, Nhudrel. I can speak more fluently to you.
Fang, you're speaking. Oh, so this is what she's. This is amazing. Thank you so much for this gift. I don't know your name, but I feel very strange calling you elder cousin, as you're not my elder or my cousin.
My name is Stone. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Nhudrel.
Pleasure meeting.
And then Stone, well, your name is Fang, therefore all of your tribes have single word real thing names. That's how it works now. So Stone looks over.
As a song reference.
Nice. But so Stone looks over, and it's like, I apologize for being so rude right now. I would love to have a conversation with both of you, and get to know both of you. But right now we have to lock down this tower. I have missing magical artifacts. I have a knock spell that happened, which conveniently, Nhudrel, you know what that knock spell is. Alice didn't say anything about it, and everything. And especially with visitors, things are going to get very tense.
Please,
you can follow me if you want.
Anything
I'm not
we
going
can do
anywhere
to
restricted.
make life a little easier for you.
Yes, elder cousin. Is there any way that we can help?
For now, follow me. And
Follow
Stone
us.
steps out, and actually goes down a couple flights of stairs, from floor 7 to floor 5, and goes back into from floor 8 to floor 5, and goes back into an administrative kind of office toward the back of it. She doesn't wait for you. She just assumes that you're following her. She doesn't then engage you with that. You can see administrators and students moving up and down the stairwells and everything like that. Nhudrel, you can already feel a lot of people doing things like detect good and evil and stuff like that, trying to figure out if they can figure it out. But it's all pretty low level from most of these administrators and students. Obviously, Stone is a bit more powerful.
I will assume this is not a common occurrence.
No, absolutely not. And she just goes and she just goes and peeks her head into a door. Doesn't even like open it fully. Protocol lockdown, and just kind of closes the door behind her. And as she's like, I should check. Would you two like to meet the would you two like to meet the councilwoman?
Oh.
Or the councilman.
Well,
And maybe even the headmistress of the conjuration discipline.
I think I've met the headmistress.
Have you?
Have I not? Was that not the person who wouldn't give me?
No, that was just the supervisor in charge of the first
Oh,
floor.
okay. No, I have not met anybody. That would be lovely. I mean,
okay. Quick.
That would be
real quick.
The elder cousin.
Just making sure it's the right spell level. So I thought, real quick, it's not a concentration either. That's what I thought. Real quick, zone of truth, and she just gestures to zone of truth over herself and you two.
Ooh.
You can choose to fail. You can choose to try and succeed. If you do succeed at a zone of truth save, she knows.
I don't know what's happening, but okay. He's not trying to save. It's
lie detector. She just zone of truths both of you and herself, and she's like, "Do you tend any malicious harm or deceitful harm to anyone specifically in this tower?"
Absolutely not.
Yourself?
Never, elder cousin.
Of course.
Thank God she's asking those two and not us. Fucking hell.
You're
not malicious.
You're just like, it's not my things. It's not my shit. Yeah. Die.
So good. No one has told Nhudrel what they were going to do beforehand. Nhudrel really does.
Well, everyone split up, so we never had a chance to discuss it. So every man
this is why we don't tell you guys anything.
Nhudrel, you and Fang start following Stone up the stairs as she explains, like, just a security measure to make sure that I could feel that the spell worked on you and you did not try to resist it. So, a security measure, since I am taking you to meet one of the eight most important people in the government or in the country, and then one of the next layer of 8 most important people in the country. I should probably, of course, I trusted you, Fang.
Yo.
I would have smelled if you were trying to lie to me.
Yo. So glad it's these two.
So they start heading up. At this time, Hicks, you and this stranger enter a completely available open office chamber. It is set like a pie slice, right? The outer curve of the wall, and then it comes to a triangle, right? It is this whole section. There's not like another office beside it. There's a large kind of oak desk, sort of a classic kind of old library of an office, right? Like a lot of dark woods a lot of like high shelves filled with books and scrolls and stuff like that. Inevitably a globe in a corner. You know, you've seen it. We've all seen these types of offices, and everything. And at the desk is a at the desk are two people. One person sitting behind the desk in like at the appropriate chair, and one person sitting in front of it. And they're both currently holding up different pieces of parchment, staring at each other. I gotta get the names. Names. Where is it? Is it all the way at the top? Yeah, it's all the way at the top. An elderly and kind of gray-haired, many-lined, human almost looking, at least as far from the ears go, woman, wiry framed, very like thin and lanky and tall, broad shoulders, clavicles kind of showing in the sort of same sort of like dark dress grounds. Her hair kind of up and tied behind her, is sitting on the kind of cross side of the desk, the like receiver side, not the person sitting at the desk proper, arguing. She simply says, Meredith, Meredith, you have to listen to me. You absolutely must know that this is not going to work. All it's going to do is weaken our resources here. This had nothing to do. And then the other person arguing across, Meredith, is kind of a dark gray skinned, large black bearded, kind of gray-eyed, short dwarven dwergar looking woman, or man, gender kind of unclear. Dwergar and dwarves all have beards, all have that. Speaks out in their gruff voice, and simply says, "That's not my job, Mistress Pine. My job is to protect the most amount of people. We're not here just to protect the Crest Arcana. We're not here to just protect the... And it's your..." And they just both turn their heads at Hicks and the entering person. The shadow agent beside you. Hicks, you wanted to talk.
Ha! Hicks would kind of...
Hey guys!
Hi
What's up,
guys, so you see,
besties?
this guy here is an assassin, and if you don't tell me what you want, what I want to know, I'm going to let him kill you. Okay?
Friendship!
That is
I wave
basically
from the
what he
window.
wants to say, but he's just going to say it nicely. Nicely.
This is an assassin. Yeah. Who here fucked off the Raven Queen? Come on.
Yeah, which one of you guys?
Which one would you do shit?
I'm gonna take my bets on the day, but anyway, that's me.
Bit racist.
They dodgy motherfuckers. I don't trust them. Anyway, so it's gonna walk in, but kind of like always making sure that he can see this agent person in his like peripherals. Oh, I seem to be interrupting something. My apologies. Do carry on. I can wait a moment.
No, the Dwergar waves the older woman back. What can I do for you?
I'm here on official business to better understand this rift that has opened conveniently above your city.
I would argue it's inconvenient. Yes, you and your man, come in. You say official. Official from what? What organization
Southgate.
are you with?
A concerned
A
official
drain.
from
Yeah,
Southgate.
that makes sense. I need you, while you're talking, to give me a perception check with advantage.
Yeah.
Please, Hicks.
Perception. Oh, thank God, Jesus. 22.
22.
I saw it
right.
gonna land on a 2, and I was like, a 2 and an 8, and I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. And then it just rolled over to the 20.
Now,
Thank God.
Hicks, I need you to roll me your initiative with advantage.
I'm gonna murder someone. Great, let's go. 23.
Okay. I'm going to roll my initiative. My initiative has the same bonus as your initiative.
Huh.
You had perception with advantage, which means you got to roll initiative with advantage and everything. So in order for me to match or beat you is the only way that this character will be able to act before Hicks acts and sees exactly what they're about to do.
I'm not doing anything! Yes.
Okay, that is considerably lower. That is a 10 total. Higgs, they told you that they would do that. You didn't incite on them. There's no reason that they can't lie to you. And indeed, they were lying to you. Once you get Meredith talking, you see that they immediately go for something in their pouch to throw. And everything. Hicks, you see that this person is going to throw something at Meredith, the council person. What do you do? You don't know any more than that, and this has to be in a moment of reaction.
Yeah, how big?
So
how
you
like
can
how
take
big
like
is
a
this
full
person?
turn. The half orc,
the agent. Like, are they like? Do they look like they're strength based or dexterity based?
Unfortunately, both. They definitely look like they're just a good all-around solid warrior. They're about 6'1", 6'2". They've got a lot of muscle, but they're not like bulky. And they look like they don't look like they're like a barbarian, right? They're not as strong as Fang looks, right? But they're much like Nhudrel. They've got that irritating sort of like, I'm just very athletically built all around. And so you don't know if they're, like, you can obviously tell that they could put in a strong day of labor or they could run for a long time.
I want to do a thing, but it's not really a Hicks thing, so I'm not going to do it. I mean, it could be, but he doesn't have time to think about it.
Yeah, you have time to take a full turn here, so you movement, action, bonus action. You don't just only have your reactions or anything like that. So you have time to make a full turn because you fully beat them on initiative.
I don't have anything spicy yet, so it's a little bit difficult.
And you can feel free to pitch me things too, right? Like
yeah, because his teleport thing doesn't really allow him to do anything else, so he's not going to do that.
You can always like.
Another thing I can think of that he would like instinctively do is try and like grab the person's hand to like prevent them from taking whatever it is out, and then at the same time like threaten that he will stab/kill them, whatever, then and there, if they so much as move a eyelash.
All right, I need you, Hicks, to give me a sleight of hand check. And since you were so much higher in advantage in initiative, I'll let you do it with advantage. This is to grab the hand and prevent the attack.
No,
So you close the few feet
he
of
doesn't do
distance
well.
between.
He gets a 12.
All right, I'm going to roll my own sleight of hand off of your character. Mine is only a +3.
You at least still have movement, right? You could move in front of them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one
That's
thing.
a
He's gonna
14.
like try to do like the grabby And then he's gonna like move. So if the grabby fails, he's still like moving in front of them and like.
Yep. Do you want to
threatening to
try
stab
and
him.
position yourself in the way of the thing that he's throwing, since you couldn't like grab it?
Well,
You
I mean, I
can.
don't
You can
really want to
absolutely
die
block
for
it.
this motherfucker if I don't know who she is. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't say he like gets in the way of what's going to be thrown, but he's definitely like in front of this agent. And I don't know if like I guess it would be kind of like an action because it would be like an intimidation threaten thingy, where like he'd have one of his scimitar blades and just literally hold it at his neck
Okay.
to like don't
Roll
do
an
anything or I
intimidation
will kill you.
check. Mm-hmm. Roll an intimidation check.
No, I only got a 12. Single digits,
All right,
baby.
I'm gonna do a wisdom save. It's gonna slightly rolling it off of your sheet as well. You got a 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Hicks, you see that he lets loose a vial in the lobbed direction. All of your interruption did make it less of an accurate thing than if no one was in his way, no one was doing it, but he does get it kind of under you. You see this. I will give you permission right now, Yama. You can react by simply slitting this man's throat in this moment as this is done, or you can continue to just hold your blade there.
Does Hicks kind of see him starting to throw something?
Yeah. You were
Does
already
he like
trying
feel
to
like the
stop
motion
it.
type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, then he'd just kill him then and there, like without hesitation.
Okay. Yeah, there's no hit points, no nothing on this one. You slice across his throat. He chooses to accept he chooses to make the agent that's controlling this person from the Shadowfell thing is like, that's fine. And does this, and you quickly slit his throat. Now I'm gonna have you actually, you know what? No. Just because this is a little bit fun, I'm gonna have, let's go with yeah, you, Yama, and you, Sam. Can I each have you each roll a d20?
I would if my D&D Beyond crashed. Let's try and get some stuff
I
out.
got an 18.
Okay.
I get
Yeah, just a flat d20.
yeah, no, my sheet's not even loading. Please hold. My internet is having a little bit of a mare. I would love it if I had internet that worked, but unfortunately, that's asking too much.
It's been my internet all day today.
My life. A 7.
7. Okay. With 118 and 17, this had nothing to do with Yuri specifically. This was just having players roll these instead of me. With 118 and 17, Higgs, you quickly just like almost without thought, almost automatically, just you threatened to slit their throat. They did the thing. You killed them. There is a vial, and it is going to land on one, like at the feet, crash and break open, either closer to the council or closer to the mistress of education. It is your choice, Yama, which one this lands to.
The councilman is the tower person, and the mistress is the university person.
Yeah,
basically.
The councilman is the head. The councilman is basically I'm the head of conjuration. I'm one of the 8 leading councilmen of the country. I am basically as high as this. The next in line for that is usually the mistress of the college, that's in the lead organization, because those are usually like Wizard 1 and Wizard 2 in power in that field of magic, and they are very much a how strong of a magic user are you with this? You should be in charge of this aspect. You should be in charge of governance. It's very meritocracy. You can ask me any questions that you think that Hicks might know or not know about this situation or either of these two things. We can, talk about the fact that we know that you talked with students and everything like that, but you are going to make the choice. One of these two people, you don't know what the vial does, but you know it's probably bad.
I'm gonna assume it's gonna like murder them on impact.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you can ask me any questions you want, but it's going to be your choice. Either the council person survives, which is the Dwergar, or the older woman survives, which is the person that's the headmistress of the conjuration track of school.
Hicks is suddenly in control of the politics.
When Hicks said like the whole like conveniently opened above your tower, and the Dwergar was like, well, unconveniently. What was the read on both of their facial expressions, both the councilman and the headmistress?
Both of them seem pretty frazzled. If you want to, and I know it's not your best stat, but if you want to roll an insight check, I can give you a little bit more, but I'll give you kind of a general for both. You might as well, because it doesn't cost you anything to roll this.
Yeah.
We'll let some dice luck do this.
Then you got a 12.
Okay. The Dwergar, the council person, Meredith, very much seemed matter of fact when they said, "You mean inconvenienced?" Frustrated. Arguably almost like responding to quickly correct you for making a mistaken turn of phrase. Like, it's like, no, don't say that. That's glib in this time of crisis.
Like, don't make a joke kind of thing.
Yeah, don't make a joke. We're at DEFCON 5 here. Or 1. I don't know which one is higher. I don't care. But the bad one. The bad one. Whatever the worst situation is. The schoolmistress has more specifically been deliberately reserved the moment you entered the room. Like, not like shy or anything like that, has just locked her ability to be readable. And with a 12, you're not getting any more than that. So she racked more collected and more more passively to you saying that. Also, as a reminder, what they were arguing about when you got into the room was that the councilwoman says whatever the Mistress Pine says, whatever council person Meredith was looking to do would just weaken their overall defenses. And Meredith was responding, "It is my job to protect as many people in Synod as I can." And then that's when your
to not protect Crest Arcana, but to protect as many people.
Yeah, not just Crest Arcana, as many people as possible. So that's what they were arguing about.
Yeah, out of character, what does everyone else think? But I will make the decision as Hicks would make it.
I'm not taking any blame. Either way, you can fuck right off. You have fun. You can think you're better laying it.
I will tell you,
I just saved their lives!
As the GM,
well, one of them.
As a GM, I will tell you out of character, this decision has significant different things that I have as notes written down for what happens here.
Well, what, you want me to just let him go and murder everybody?
No, you should have killed him earlier. Your fault.
Him.
Roll better.
Well,
I didn't try to roll to kill him, though. I just wanted to
go for Hicks.
Huh?
Because Hicks knows that the assassin was after the headmistress,
councilwoman.
Yeah,
they were after
specifically the council person.
So, So
Hicks would know that the Raven Queen sent an assassin after the council person.
Yeah.
So it also, I guess, would depend on if Hicks follows Raven Queen very strictly or not. Also, if that at all matters to Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you exactly what Nhudrel would do, but, like, Nhudrel's not there. Me as a player, I will roll with anything you choose to do.
So what they're doing is they're mostly absolving themselves from this.
Yeah, they just going, you know what? We're gonna just blame you.
Well, yeah.
Don't worry, everyone's going to get at least one of these during the campaign, if not more, where each individual player
off a ledge. Try me.
will have to make a shifting, a significant decision.
So, wait. The councilwoman is trying to save as many people as possible, and the headmistress is like, don't affect our
Don't weaken
barrier.
the security. Don't weaken the protections just to save more people. You need to protect. Basically, protect here, protect the masses, but possibly put here in more danger.
I mean, to be fair, for all we know, the Raven Queen's got to hit out this fucking bitch because they opened the fucking thing in the first place, for all we know.
Yeah.
Like, the Raven Queen isn't, at least I don't know how it's written here, but isn't inherently evil. They are much more lawful neutral.
The Raven Queen is by no means an evil character.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't feel like
neutral.
They would put a hit out on someone if they didn't have a good reason. So, like, I didn't quite... I don't understand. That's my point of view, because I don't understand why we're stopping the assassin for, like, a Raven Queen who's not evil in the first place.
But the one she put a hit out on is the one that's trying to save as many as people as possible.
And
if we take her out, then the one that comes into power is the one that just wants to save the
I don't disagree.
area.
I just think, like, a fucking Raven Queen wouldn't put it out on for someone for, like, a petty reason, if that makes sense.
No.
Like, there must have been something they've done bad, so they're clearly not as fucking good as they say.
Either bad or something they want.
Yeah.
Because they're neutral, so they're not like... I mean, like, I don't know. Hicks was never given the fucking order, so he doesn't know what's going on either.
There is also the possibility that whatever it is she wants to do has worse implications that she knows. And the Raven Queen does.
Be fair, she could just be torturing your soul, Hicks. That could just be torture. It is the Raven Queen. Does torture souls.
Then that's not my problem. Then go ahead, torture someone else.
Well, no, that's just your torture. Souls.
Well, not me. These people are irrelevant to me.
No, that's what I mean. The choice is the torture of your soul.
Reia, you seem to have thought.
I had thought, and then I spaced out, and then I forgot what my thought was.
That's I've done that.
The headmistress is more concerned about the local protection, whereas the councilman is more concerned with the larger protection.
Yeah, essentially, because the Crest Arcana is kind of separated from the rest of the city, a little bit more north from the rest of the city, and you saw this even before you entered the storm. Neapolis, the big giant capital, is fucking getting wrecked all day, every day by this storm. It is, but there are inevitably people that have gone underground. It's a storm, right? There's lightning and stuff like that, but it's not like eradicating everything instantly. It's a constant disaster situation, and so it was very clear as you approached here that the towers of the Crest Arcana, the 8, wizard towers, are fine. They're completely untouched by any of this. They're well protected. The rain doesn't touch, the lightning doesn't. It strikes on the edge of the barrier and it's fine. And then the rest of the area is getting wrecked. Catching on fire, and all that stuff, getting knocked over by massive gusts of wind. There's probably flooding in different streets, things like that.
So it's very likely to assume that they're potentially going to try and extend the barrier. Well, that was their plan.
Yeah. So the council person was arguing to extend the barrier, maybe to protect more of the capital city. And the headmistress was like, no. And it should be noted just because I want, Hicks would know this. The school is not the towers, so the school is in the firing line
in the
of
city.
the capital city.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
fuck the headmistress then. Bit of a dick.
So,
My opinion.
But also, she
Formal
said
opinion.
this is not going to work. So that makes me go, what's not going to work? Obviously, it'd be the extension of the barrier, but why did she say that? And then also, within the councilman said, it's not his job to worry, basically, about Crest Arcana. It's his worry, his concern is the larger thing. So you've got one who doesn't seem to believe that this expansion is going to work, and then the other one who's not interested in saving the local, but more of, or not not interested in just the local area, but strengthening.
I do have a question.
But he wants to make the barrier bigger. But what if the headmistress is right and it doesn't work, and then the barrier fucks up, and then everyone's fucked?
The way I read it was that by extending the barrier, it's going to weaken it, and obviously cause more damage to the parts that is, protecting. So that, yeah, it might try cover more space, but it's ultimately just going to, hurt everybody.
Yeah, so it's basically do you take the chance?
Question though about it.
Yeah.
Is doing the thing that the Raven Queen wanted gonna help curry favor with her, or is she just not gonna care about
Hicks
it?
kind of did slit the throat of their person.
No, but if he gets the job done, what does it matter that he killed a thrall?
That is very true, especially with the Raven Queen.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't know. Depends who was the person on the other side. Hey, I don't know. Hicks doesn't know.
But it's like, do you want to risk the ire of the Raven Queen? Especially she's not even a bad person.
Somebody to know his full first name.
No, it wouldn't be that uncommon for someone to know his full first name.
It almost mostly just reconfirmed that it was definitely there. It reconfirmed I have orders from the Raven Queen. Oh, you know my full first name? Okay, either you're a person that knows me personally, or you're almost certainly an agent, someone who's being honest about saying that they have orders from the Raven Queen.
Yeah, so obviously not everyone is necessarily an agent going to do shit. There are some people that just people that are just doing mundane stuff in the Shadowfell, and then there's the ones that are more like the army, quote unquote.
Yeah, there are accountants that know Hicks's full name, right? Like there are many people, but I mean, certainly
Hicks has a terrible credit score.
So actually, in the Shadowfell, because it's the Shadowfell, there's no such thing as undebted money. All money is debt, and there's interest on all of it because this is a bad place. There's no all wealth is debt. In there, no,
Beautiful.
I'm kidding. That would be a wild economy.
I think we're going to have to make a choice though, because otherwise we're just going to debate for literal hours.
So
yep.
I'm trying to figure out what the best outcome Hicks is. What gets him in the least amount of trouble.
And knowing Hicks, I think, personally, Hicks would do what's best for Hicks. At least with what we've seen. You're still there on a fucking mission yourself. Surely if you betray one mission, you're technically abandoning your own. Because, that's kind of, what's the word? What's the word when you betray royalty?
Treason?
Treason?
Yeah, there's a word for it, but
I don't know.
We're so stressed. We're so stressed out.
But yeah, I would say
Yama?
a decision.
Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah, okay, so considering what Hicks heard / saw, he's going to, I don't know, redirect the thingy or whatever, so that it I'm just making sure I've got the right name. Give me a second. Reading it properly.
Meredith is the council person that wants to extend things. Mistress Pine is the person that didn't want to do that.
So Hicks is gonna I don't know, redirect or whatever the vial so that it lands on the mistress pine instead of the councilman.
Excellent.
Hey to that.
Oh no.
The
Wonderful.
Hicks, you grab one of your just throwing daggers and you just clip the vial. Quickly responding, you just clip the vial so it arcs a little bit toward Mistress Pine, and it lands and shatters on the ground under Mistress Pine. What happens is that you see a number of shadowy but not infernal tendrils reach out of this sudden burst vial and grab and surround, wrapping themselves around Mistress Pine and pulling her down into the liquid, which turns into pure blackness, not dissimilar to the blackness that was on half of the face of the agent before you slit their throat. Now the full half orc's face is there because they're not being inhabited anymore. Dead on the ground. And Mistress Pine, head of the conjuration section of the University of Magic of Neapolis, the second most powerful wizard in probably the most powerful magical kingdom, at least in the Embrace, this region of the material plane, just gets sucked down into this darkness to the companion sounds of muffled screams and crunching bone. And Meredith, like, quickly, as this is all happening, as the vial gets moved over, stands up and stands back. Their hands, this Dwergar's hands, are lighting with like electrical energy, but taking a pause because you slit a person's throat and then appeared to try and throw the dagger to stop the vial, and everything. Just because it didn't stop it doesn't mean that you weren't trying to stop whatever was going, and they were in conversation with you and everything. And they pause. While this is happening, cutting back down to Nhudrel, Fang, and Fang's cousin Stone as they move up through the as they've been moving up through the steps of the stairwell. 8th floor, 9th floor, up on the 10th floor, across hallway, seemingly nothing. All you can see are doors.
This session is giving me whiplash.
All you can see is doors. Doors as you're 10 feet away from the doorway that Stone is leading you to. That is the office where Stone knows the council person is settled. You, Nhudrel and Fang, you hear a thud on the floor, and then a shattering of glass as Stone like looks back at both of you, panicked, and then goes to open the door to see they don't catch. They're too late to see the tendrils pull the council person down. They just see the mistress down. They just see the council person, Dwergar Meredith, holding energy in her hands, and a stranger,
Hicks,
standing in the office, because Stone doesn't know what Hicks looks like. Stone
Stone has a hood up, so he probably looks very fucking dodgy.
Wait,
yeah,
do I? I must know that's Hicks, right? I've seen Hicks.
Yeah, you know it's Hicks, but you're 2 steps behind. You eventually come into view. Fang, Nhudrel, Stone all see this scene of Hicks standing there, hood up, looking like Hicks, and a Dwergar with magical energy like lightning around their hands, standing up across from Hicks at a table. What do you two do, Nhudrel and Fang?
I put myself between Hicks and the lady.
With the dead body on the floor. Woo!
Yeah, and there's a dead body on the ground. There's a dead half-orc on the ground who's been bled out from the throat.
Can Could I just...
Nhudrel's like, I'm going home, bye.
No. Can Nhudrel just sort of, like, place himself solidly between Hicks and person holding energy and be like, context at Hicks?
You tried to push past Stone to do so.
Oh, is Stone in the way?
Yep, Stone was in front of you, leading you up there. So Stone would inevitably be in front of you in this situation.
God dang.
You try to push past Stone?
I thought Stone was, like, in the room proper. Fine. Then from behind Hicks, you just hear a very shaky voice go, Hicks, context, please?
Fang, what are you doing?
Fang
Same
puts
moment.
a hand on Stone's shoulder and says, Elder cousin, rest assured, this is one of my friends, my comrades. I think he stopped an assassination. And she
That is
points
so much
to the body on the
smarter than
ground right behind him, right behind Hicks.
Mm-hmm. Yuri, you're standing on a ledge, staring out at a storm that isn't quite touching you. Breathing, calming down, worried about this. You see, off in the distance, we're just going to say this because it's favorable and dramatic. You see, off in the distance, give me just a moment.
I am sorry.
Yuri, you don't feel like the tower's been locked down yet. Definitely that hasn't happened. All the wards haven't gone up yet to kind of like lock people in and, more importantly, keep people out. Just wanted to pull this up. This is not helpful. There we go. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, why the fuck not? Okay. Yeah, why not? Why not just have it be a little bit hyper dramatic in this stressful time for Yuri? You're watching the storm, calming yourself down. Yuri, the hag had been there for too long. The sea hag. Probably not definitely related to you. Months and everything. But this place had some magic items that they had no business having their hands on, and you got them and you get away, and hopefully things will work out. While you're staring out into this storm, it's almost like, now that you've been able to look at it, it's almost like there's a section of the storm kind of testing the outer barriers of this protective shell. Like the wind and the storm itself in this particular area seems to have an intention or an awareness to it. Yuri, what thing in your past presents itself as a sentient storm at times?
Not a fucking clue.
Yuri,
I heard of that.
How much direct interaction has Yuri had with the Unseelie Court?
Probably not much, to be fair. He is probably in one of the safest places away from them. He's the
How much would he have read about them?
Read probably not, but he would have heard stories from siblings. Dad.
Give me.
He would have been told stories.
Give me a history check with advantage.
Okay, this is 16.
It takes you a while because you're kind of watching it, and you're like, feels like that's doing things on purpose. Air elemental, maybe, right? Those happen. And then you notice, it's hard to tell at first because it's so gloomy and then the storm everywhere, but it's daytime. You know that outside of the storm, it's daytime. But damned if that doesn't look like the middle of the night in that little section of storm.
Oh.
And when I say little section, I mean it's pretty big on the scale of what it is. It's just little by comparison to this overall dome. It's probably quite large. In fact, a dark, shadowy darkness, wisping air, guiding wind and lightning, testing the externals. Do you have a better idea of what it might be now?
Is that coming through the barrier?
It's failing right now, but it is trying.
Is it the Queen of Air and Darkness?
And as Yuri comes to that realization, we will end this session of Healing Rifts.
Well, I've got a god after you guys on session like fucking 11, and a god's coming for you guys. Oops.
A god coming for you or coming for something in the tower? Do they even know that you're there? What's gonna happen?
So I think we should all just fuck off to the Feywilds and just stay there.
Yeah, guys, I know a really nice cottage. It's really cute. It will actually, I think it will help us quite heavily if we just...
You knew, Androva, you knew the cliffhanger was coming. You knew that we're in a tent, we're in a tight goddamn spot.
Oh god,
right
that
now.
means there's a fucking portal to the unseelie. Oh, fuck. No.
You know what, Yuri, we're going home. We're going to your home. Let's go.
We're going to your home.
I don't care if we're going to go to the Feywilds at level 4. We fucking
are
going.
not. We're gonna die horribly.
Well, listen, I'll take my chances with the Feywild over whatever the fuck you just saw, and my queen being pissed at me because I killed the other person.
Oh no, your queen's pissed. Well, guess what? The evil queen who doesn't like your queen either is pissed.
So
no
you're gonna
queens
go
are
to
happy.
your home.
The unseelie queen who's famously attacked the fucking Shadow High Queen. She's gonna come for you as much as me, bitch.
No, that's why we're going to your home. That's why we're going to the Feywilds. It's a very safe place.
That's why I was trying to find like a
there.
scary enough sub-lieutenant under there.
It's fine.
And I'm like, you know what? Why am I fucking around with the supporting cast? Let's have a taste of some main cast members of the Unseelie Court.
Fang, how far away from the shit show do you live?
Months.
Can we go there? Can we go to your home?
Can we go to your place?
Sure, we can hang out in the cave. It's a nice stanky
Yeah, that's fine.
cave.
We're all going into the cave.
We're all going into the cave.
Let's go to the cave.
I wanna
Let's
go
go
in
to
the
the Feywild. It's safer.
But nonetheless,
Well, I know
Yeah.
how we get through the. Who wants to go through the portal? That's the only way, Jack.
Oh my word.
but
It might
nonetheless,
end up in a palace. Actually, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, let's not go through that portal. We'll
that's
make
not going.
another one.
If that portal is the Unseelie Court, that's not a place you want to land in. The Gloaming Court, sorry. But nonetheless,
Steve.
thank you so much, wonderful players, for 2 back-to-back episodes of just cliffhangery endings. Less sexy this one. But thank you so much, Jack. You wanna walk us out of the stream?
Sure. This is
We're all gonna die.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for the raid. You get to catch the last bit where we all just internally screaming. If you would like to know what is happening soon, there will be videos on YouTube. It is happening.
Yeah,
So
they
you
are being uploaded and set to publish throughout this week.
Yeah.
You shall see them, so you can catch up before next week if you have a spare 30 or so hours.
Yes. I'm still recovering. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'm going to rate us out to Heavenly Saturn, who's actually in another TTRPG game with us, Monster of the Week, on Beggar Street every tonight. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
Yeah, in
greatly
theory, in a couple
can't.
hours.
They are currently playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. She's fantastic. Please definitely go give her some love. And I feel like that is a nice chill place to take us away from the chaos that was the stream. Thank you for popping through. I love you guys. Bye. Wee.